Yeah.
I'm not getting involved.
All right, we are live on the internets. I'm trying to. Let's see. All right, so we
Hello,
are starting
everyone.
with late again. 2-point deduction to Everton. Taylor says, "I suspect Arsenal is the culprit." Sure, Billy. Needles and yarn clicking away. All right, Graham, we are doing fantasy recap and talking about awards because we are in soundcheck / injury time / whatever we're doing.
Yes, we are starting with our fantasy recap, our final fantasy recap of the season. So this week in DUD1, I beat out Taylor 33-21. That is pasta cordon glue over safe again, ? Time to retire, ?
Right.
So we'll see about that. Pone cares more than I do. That's Sammy's team. Lost out narrowly to injury list all-stars. Allendor greater than Ballon d'Or. Brody, 58-37 over Donkey Jurgen, which was Russ's team this week. Espresso Martinelli, 36-30 over playoffs ? A sad face, which is funny. That's Geckel's team. Missed it by that much. Twombly, you beat out Trumpty Dumpty by 12 points there, 46-34. Up to Tough FA's lost out by 9, which is 50% of his own score, to Arteta's hair helmet, 18-27. Fucking 8 Spurs lost out pretty handedly to Diamond Dogs. And hashtag Glazers out. Ray's team 40-46 to Mings's lady. That will take us to our final standings, and congratulations to Alan Dor greater than Ballon d'Or. Alan Brody, you are the champion of DUD1 for the 2023-2024 season. After a valiant effort from JB in Diamond Dogs finishing in second place, Fucking 8 Spurs in third. They are unchanged. Allen won the league by 9 points this season, and from second to third was a 6-point gap. Injury list all-stars finished the season in fourth on 67 points, while Sam fell down to fifth on 66. Missed it by that much in sixth on 66 as well, but a worse off point differential. Donkey Jurgen finished in seventh. Trumpty Dumpty in eighth. Playoffs, sad face, in ninth. Up to Tofefe's catch in 10th. Hashtag Glazers out in 11th. So 6th through 11th didn't change either. Now, I leapfrogged Taylor. Ball status there, okay? So I finished in 12th, comfortably mid-table. I don't know what y'all are worried about. With 46 points.
Congratulations.
And then Taylor drops down to 13th on 45. Espresso Martinelli on 45 as well. Taylor scored 72 more points than Justin's team, who finished in 14th. Mings's lady, the first relegated team, Her Highness, on 42 points as well. And Arteta's hair helmet, also relegated. That's Firehawks' team in 16th on 37 points. A pretty dismal performance. Actually ended up being outscored by me in point differential. So that is a shame. I do want to send out at this stage our deepest and sincerest congratulations.
Shut up. Go ahead. Do it.
Why?
Nope. Never mind.
Oh, well,
Nope.
I'm not saying anything
Take it.
then. No,
Take it.
because we'll do it on the main show. Fuck it.
Unbelievable. I'm going to die.
All right, maybe we should do pre-show meetings then, because I don't know anything about what you wanted to do.
It should be my news to share.
Well,
it's my friend.
I just mentioned
All right.
the name, so it doesn't matter now. It's fine. We're not saying anything. It's going on the main show.
He needs to go take a break now, Houston.
And that's about DUD1.
Fuck. He started talking about
I
news
did
to
not talk
congratulate.
about news.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't say anything. No one knows anything.
Heard.
You're getting a lot of compliments on the DU football show. I'm sorry, you're getting a lot of compliments on the Knockdown Blues. And what?
can't fucking speak. Thank
Well,
you.
because I had to mute you because you were having a moment.
No, I was not having a moment. You are causing me a moment, is what was happening.
I have witnesses.
I'm not getting involved.
Damn it!
Yeah.
Scott said that you forgot to talk formations, although you said you were going to, although they might have missed it, though.
I did. I talked about what they were doing with the high press and how we were counteracting it.
I see no criticism on the language, but I listened to it, and it seemed very clean this week.
I did say ass.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I said ass and then said sorry, but.
Fuck. All right.
You can tell it's been a long season.
Yeah, it has. It has. It really, really has been.
Doo League has had some changes in it.
Yeah, kind of crazy in the doo-doo.
Well, because going into it, it was future. Well, let's hold on. Let's see fixtures. Let's pull that one up first. All right. So this week I was up against John Benson. Mel's cool. My bad. And it really wasn't a competition. 57-37.
Damn.
What is competition, though, is Middle River FC, Steven Sprouse's team versus Past the Dijon Lars, 60-59.
Wow.
That's the first and second highest score of the week. Imagine scoring 59 and losing to 60. I would have been
That
pissed if I
sucks.
was against Lars and I lost.
Yeah.
Goon Squad, I don't know if he was even trying. At least Simon won something over the weekend, 41-20. Too soon?
It's not too soon.
Big H's crew, 28. Baines on Toast. Timmy O, 19 points. That's just sad. SSJ Arsenal got 55. D's Nuts lost quite easily with only 30 points. Nathan Jones for Prison, 28-38. Sausages are upside down. And future fifth ex-husband, Marky's team, lost to Tupper City FC. Now, that should be an issue, except he already had quite the lead. And so joining us right now is the winner of the Doo-Doo League, future eighth ex-husband. How you doing, sweetheart?
And now you're going to believe us, and now you're going to believe us, and now you're going to believe us. We're going to win the league. Hello, Mel.
Hello, darling.
Congratulations on winning the league, good sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm delighted.
It feels good to know that trust me, same thing applies in the Division 1 as well, is that you're like, okay, I won a league where about 8 people paid attention.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like the Premier League, isn't it, really?
Oh, yes, definitely. Very much so.
only if you're talking about the financial books.
Well, Baines on Toast, his embarrassing loss, knocked him out of the top 3.
I know.
So coming up to the P League.
DUD1.
So the PP League.
No, you're just the doo-doo.
You're in the league.
DUD1.
You're in the league. Will be Marky and Jay popping up to D1.
Jay is very excited about that as well, which will work out very well. Also, Mark, congratulations on staying up as well, sir.
Yep, success at both ends of the table.
Yeah.
Delighted, obviously, that Forest stayed up. And not really by the skin of our teeth. If we got our 4 points back, we'd have been 10 points clear of the drop. So it wasn't as wretched a season as it looked on the surface of things, but doesn't, not much in the way of progress either. So hoping for a better third season.
I mean, we'll talk about it on the actual show. But since we have you real quick, I actually thought that the last 3 games especially, Nuno's ideas sort of seemed to take hold. They've played a lot better.
Before we get into show, I have something unrelated that I wanted to remember.
Okay, what's that?
Well, no, when we're done with future third ex-husband.
Okay, gotcha.
He's moving up because you're mad at me.
Oh, okay.
It's getting closer,
fun.
Marky.
Well, no, it's not so much me being mad at you. It's you frustrating me and you being mad as well. So it was That was a we need a break. That wasn't I need a break.
I have certain things I have to do before the show.
I'm fully aware of that.
Taking on your stress was not on my to-do list.
Welcome to every day of the last 20 years, my beautiful bride. Welcome to my world. Won't you come on in?
Fucking hell.
Giving you my best Elvis I can do.
That wasn't bad.
Wasn't good either.
So, real quick, Mark, just because we also pulled back our appeal after we saw what happened with you, what happened with your appeal in PSR that they were just like, nope, you're not getting any points back?
I mean, obviously, nobody knows for sure. Everyone's been speculating. Well, everyone's been speculating that they weren't going to do that because it would take the tension out of the league, right? It would take the excitement out of the final few games. And to be fair, I want for the final positions to be determined by what happens on the field. So I wasn't really devastated. And I thought that about the appeal, and I thought we had enough in our team, or we should have had enough in our team, given who we had in the last few games, to have secured our survival. So ultimately, I think, the goodwill out. And I'm delighted as well at Everton's season, genuinely. I'm delighted as well they were able to flip a finger to the man as well. And I just sit here wondering, at what point in time, as the charges continue to accrue, are Man City held accountable? I mean, there's no doubt they're a fantastic team. You can't argue with De Bruyne and Haaland and Foden and Doku and everybody else. But as a friend of mine who's an Arsenal fan pointed out to me on Sunday, part of the reason that they can be so unrelentingly amazing throughout the season, and particularly in the second half of the season, is because of the depth of their squad, a squad that was accrued illegally. Yeah. And at what point are they held accountable for that? So, a little frustrating, but as far as Forest are concerned, I'm just glad we got it done on the field, and we'll see whether or not Nuno's there next season, because there's a lot of speculation he may not be.
So I think I have insight as to why they didn't get 4 points back after their appeal.
Okay.
It's essentially just that their owner's a fucking lunatic. And the Premier League just went, fuck that guy.
You know what? That is a perfect follow-up question then to have for you here, Mark, too, is and we talked about it on the show when we beat you guys. I flat out said what I said to Sam. I was like,
just slides that in.
They could have. Well, this was what caused that tweet. This is what caused all the hubbubaloo was that game. And as I said, Sam, it was like, I've seen all three of those called. Now, I've seen all three of those also not called, but I've seen them called. And there was justification for you guys to be angry. How did the fans take the club saying the quiet thing out loud? Because I think that might have hurt you guys a little.
Yeah, I think it probably did. I think it was definitely mixed emotions. I think on the one hand, the fans obviously had the same degree of frustration and anger that the club did regarding this litany of decisions that appeared to be going against us that culminated in, I don't know what that was, just a shit fest versus Everton. I mean, it was diabolical. And so I think there was definitely, the fans understood how the club reacted, but I also think there was a high degree of embarrassment. I certainly felt that. Like, on the one hand, I was like, yeah, you go for it. But on the flip side, I was like, is this really my Nottingham Forest? Is this my Brian Clough Nottingham Forest? Is this really what we represent? And so it's difficult, but I like what Wolves have done recently in regards to VAR, because if it doesn't need to be scrapped, it absolutely needs to be overhauled. So I think there's a right way to bring attention to these things. And again, I understand that the knee-jerk reaction. And I think a lot of fans got behind us. There was a lot of support on social media. But at the end of the day, that's not really the way you want to be doing your business.
Universally across at least the American side of the Toffees, like listening to the ATP, the American Toffee Pod, and watching a lot of the groups talk, like everybody kind of just went, I mean, they're not wrong. We were glad to have those calls go our way, but we've seen those called before.
Yeah, absolutely. I still feel the same thing we said that day, where two of those were probably subjective. Yeah. One of the last one,
the Ashley one,
that is a definite nailed on pen. That is 100% fucking wrong from VAR.
Yeah, the other two you can make excuses for, but that third one was dead in a way.
At least there's some argument to be had back and forth. I mean, it's the same we talked about the two soft Arsenal ones in back-to-back weeks.
Right.
It's like you're putting yourself in a position to give the referee a decision to make. If those penalties are given, I don't think VAR overturns them. If they aren't given, I don't think VAR gives them.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right, because of the, quote, clear and obvious
Exactly,
overturn.
right.
And on those first two, it wasn't clear and obvious
And
overturn,
to
so
Wolves'
they went
point
with
is
the call
as-
that was on the field.
Right. And to Wolves' point,
think-
as Mark brought up, that there's now this situation where all those verbiage, all that bullshit, all that rhetoric,
Yeah.
clear and obvious, and this, that, the other, that's not being applied consistently. But I remember against Brentford last season, they didn't draw the fucking lines for that offside against Ivan Toney that started our derailment
Right. They
towards
just
the end of the
didn't
season.
draw the
Yeah,
lines.
fucking just didn't draw the line. It's like there needs to be a clear set protocol. Get rid of all the lawyer talk. Get rid of all the bullshit, right? If you can't make a decision in 30 seconds, you're on a fucking clock.
Yeah.
If it's not in 30, if you can't figure it out in 30 seconds, it's obviously not clear and obvious.
Right.
If that makes sense.
I think with Forest as well, what compounded their frustration is how many times do you flip a coin and get the call wrong?
Right.
Like, it doesn't seem like you could do that more than 5 or 6 times. And yeah, it was one after another, after another, after another.
Yeah.
I mean, we were into double figures of decisions where people were going, ha ha, I think Forest kind of got screwed there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just kept happening. And so, yeah, it was a bit of a powder keg. And
Yeah,
that's how
Pugmo's
it,
not covering
ultimately
himself
blew
in
up.
glory this season, that's for sure.
Oh, God, no. God, no.
Absolutely. I tend to agree with what Stephen Walsh said in the closed group was that I don't think VAR's going anywhere.
No.
Really?
No, it's probably not going anywhere.
Sadly.
I don't think that's going to happen. There's too much money at stake and all that kind of stuff. And ultimately, I think culturally, you got to kind of get rid of some of the, kind of British politeness and awkwardness and just do your fucking job, right? You have to adjust the protocol to follow these exact steps every fucking time
Right.
without fail. And there needs to be better communication in the stadium for the in-stadium fan experience.
This is what we are looking at. And like in the case
Because
of like
in the
you
last
at
5 games,
Newcastle-
we've gotten fucking live feed video from Stotley Park,
Yeah.
on our screens, and we're all the way over here. But the people in the 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 people in the stadium don't know what the fuck's going on.
It just says checking for a possible
Yeah,
penalty. What was
where?
the penalty? What
right.
what
So
happened? What was going
either
on?
mic up like they do in rugby,
Mm-hmm.
with their decision. MLS has started doing that, but you can mic up like they do in rugby in the NFL, and have the referee explain what happened. You might not agree with it, but at least you'll know what happened,
Right.
right? Referee could go, "Hey, we're checking a possible trip or whatever, here or there or which way," and then engage the referee in the decision making at the screen more often. And if that means you get a little dickhead to run out with an iPad, or the referee needs to do a couple extra days of fitness to get himself over to the screen 4 times a game, do it.
I very much agree with the dickhead running out with an iPad.
I like
think
that.
That is absolute. That's it's something the NFL does, and I think it's very smart.
And
you
the-
just bring them out of Surface Pro right off the bat. They look right at it. It's right there. They hand it back to him. They make the
I
call.
also am fully here for don't give the dude football boots. Make him run out there in flats,
so he
in
slides
trainers,
around.
so he slides all over the place. I think that'd be brilliant.
Flip flops. Why not flip flops or slide?
Perfect.
That'd be brilliant.
On a watered, perfect carpet. That'd be fantastic. Watch that kid go tumbling.
All right. Well, Mark,
Well,
Mhm.
before you guys kick me to the curb,
yes.
coming back to the fantasy league, I want to see if either of you can determine the brilliance of the name I selected. Like, why does it have 2 meanings? Can you determine them?
What? Give me his name again.
Mini Cooper.
Minnie Cooper.
I assumed that was
One
the
of
name
them's
of his
very
dick.
obvious.
Well, obviously,
Well,
that was
That's
one of
funny.
them's very obvious, right?
The
Mini
car.
Cooper.
right.
Right,
The
absolutely.
car.
Coming from Britain, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
The other one's a little bit more obtuse. Think about who Forrest had at the helm at the start of the season.
You are
Steve.
a Mini Cooper, is what you were
Steve
saying.
Cooper.
Yeah.
Stevie
Steve
Cooper.
Cooper.
I was the Mini Cooper.
There we go.
Nice.
I like. Very
Got it.
well done.
That's
Got it.
Well,
fantastic.
get ready for D1, where they literally just change the names every
Every
single week just off of bullshit me and Graham say.
Yeah.
Wait. Is that promotion?
Yes.
Oh
you-
yeah.
you lo-
You'll
you
be in
leave-
DUD1 next year.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark. This is where you and I part ways, I guess.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's heartbreaking.
Well, hey, Mark.
Oh, you're gonna have to text them, let them know what it is you did.
Yeah. I don't think he knows about that.
The
bit.
radio bit.
I almost feel
brilliant.
bad about that one.
Fucking
You should
brilliant.
text him and let him know. Yeah.
Go ahead and put on the arm brace now before the show starts. Here.
So I thought the first thing that popped into my mind was a fun story I heard in Italy, actually, about Mini Cooper and maybe being the British version of said funny thing. Did you hear what happened to Max Allegri?
By the way, those of you
No, I did
just
not.
joining us, we are still not in the show.
yeah, we're getting ready to do the show.
We are technically warming up.
Yeah,
Did
still
you
doing
see?
sound
We're
check.
still warming up to
He
each
said,
other.
"Ha he still loves me."
We're still warming up to each other
Yeah.
after
shit.
some early tension. No, did you see what happened at Juventus?
No, I didn't.
They fired Max Allegri again.
Okay.
And he apparently very angrily stormed out of training and got into his Fiat 500 and drove way too fast through the car park and left,
Oh,
which is such a very Italian
That's the
exit.
most Italian thing ever.
And his Fiat 500, though, which is very funny.
Mark says he heard "This is where we part ways," and then click.
Brilliant.
That's great.
Absolutely brilliant.
So that's it. Oh, and real quick, shout out to my daughters. We finished sound check real fast.
Yeah, how did that all go?
Great. I got video of it. It's Carly should have shared the stills on Facebook. I still have to do mine.
They were lovely.
Yeah, she received the 2023-2024 presidential education or whatever award, President's Educational Award.
Very cool.
4 straight A's all year.
Oh, nicely done, young lady.
It's pretty good.
I have one more thing to cover. A little bit more show business.
Okay, go for it.
The whiskey party is this weekend.
Yes.
Yes.
It is for all Patreon people as well,
Yes,
right?
all Patreon people.
So Christian can't come,
Right.
obvious reasons, because Minnesota.
Minnesota, yeah.
So could I replace him with another University of Maryland band, brass, alumni, and Kappa Kappa Psi brother, and extend an invite to Steve?
Yeah, of course.
There we go.
Yeah, you're fine. All good. Yeah.
He's not the one that got mad at me for a joke, is he?
No.
No.
No. No, that's the one that left.
He still listens. You know he does.
Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, normally
Christian says you can't replace me. No, but come on, Christian. Would Steve wouldn't be an okay substitute?
before we start the show, since Christian's on, Christian, feel free to
The whole
share.
sewing circle's there.
Oh,
all
cool.
of them.
Excellent. Do be sure to put up anything you need signed as far as petitions and stuff like that in the DU closed group. You have my blessing. I know I already did it on your regular Facebook
Is this
feed.
for his school stuff?
Yeah, for his
Yeah.
school stuff, help out with their music program and everything. But if that gets, you want to put that up, go right ahead. You got my permission. Go-
Smokey
go
says
for
he's
it.
not going to make it. Arizona's a big of a drive. Someone
I
could
know.
take my spot.
Yep. Yep. No smoke. No. Well,
This is.
I mean, I don't
let
know.
me say something real quick too. This is not a fucking one in, one out. Fucking fire marshal policy here. Okay,
You know,
give us $5, you're allowed in.
Benson is still in Europe, so he could just stop here on the way and go.
He probably has to fly
Never.
to either JFK or BWI first for a layover.
I legit do not know, but it would not surprise me if he didn't just show up.
International Man of Mystery showed up. That'd be fabulous.
Nothing surprises
So
me.
what I'm trying to say is, like an old funky reggae party, Sublime reference.
Yeah, yes.
Your boy Steve can show up with a $5 and buy a cup.
I mean, I can't believe it's not more for inflation.
I do know Sewing Circle. If you haven't had a chance, Mel, did you put up the little 10-minute sound check that we did with the Naptown Blues? I talked all about my little trip to the dermatologist and the amount of bleeding I did. My fellow brethren in cardiac arrest can all relate to blood thinners
Nice.
and make you bleed everywhere. Still all fucking busted up over here. So, but get
There you
better.
go.
You're so vain.
I am so vain.
You probably think the show is about you.
I do.
While I'm sitting in this seat, you better fucking rethink that, boss.
Sure thing, stud. Alrighty.
Okay, good. I've been trying to find a good stopping point, and then you keep going. Normally, I don't mind it when you keep. I'm just gonna leave it on.
Okay, that's fine.
Support.
We're on the live feed. Hi, everybody on the live feed.
I love my life.
And you have the opening.
I do.
Very good.
I just have to export this real quick. Warfare struggling. Graham's eyes have dried. Aw, they're worried about you, Graham.
I'm fine.
He's used to it. They lose all the
No,
time.
I'm perfectly content with what we did. We did our job. That's what the show's for. I'll talk about it there.
Yep. Well, you saw in the notes I gave you with the you finished the fucking segment, dude. It's your world.
Clear that out.
Yeah, Sam. If you just go to notes for ours, we can pull up the FL show off of this.
Heard.
All right. Here's where the talent really works.
Okay.
Did you email it to?
Go to sent in your email
Oh,
box.
to sent. Got it. Okay. That's where I was going wrong. Got it. Here we go.
All right. She's trying to start the show.
Yep.
This is Alan Brody, Everton fan, and you're listening to the DU Football Show. It's a 9-hour podcast.
It is a 9-hour podcast, typically.
That
He's
was
not
it.
wrong. He's not wrong.
I mean, it left a little bit to be desired there, to be honest.
You know, I would assume that was recorded at the Dark Horse.
No, he reminded me he had sent me that like a month ago at the Dark Horse.
Well, the 20 for 20 show is definitely a 9-hour podcast.
Oh, big time.
Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right the fucking Gooner Graham. Smells of a lord. Looks great in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I'm your host, Sam Houston, and across the way, chose fatherhood over fandom for once. My co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham.
I only saw about 3 seconds of Tegan's game.
It was
I had my phone in one hand on City and my iPad in the other on Arsenal and my AirPod in on Arsenal. Yeah.
But you were there.
I was there.
We're just gonna say you were father of the year.
I was there.
She doesn't need to worry about that. That's
About
you're okay.
15 seconds late for kickoff because Cameron was being a dickhead.
Oh, shocker! The toddler, a dickhead.
Yep.
No, say it isn't so.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till she's a teenager. You're gonna be like, remember when she was a toddler and she was manageable?
She already thinks she's a teenager. She threw a shoe at her mother the other day.
Damn.
Oh, yeah. She got it big time for that. Yep.
We're recording at the Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And, of course, streaming live every single Monday night, but for only 2 more times this season. Should you want to chat with us, there's many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. As always, it's at DU Football Show on all the social media and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email. You should also make sure that you're a member of the closed group. It's Drunkard United FC on Facebook. That's where all the hashtag bants go down.
You really do love that word bants, don't you?
I do. I told y'all, I'm sticking with it.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So is the red-blooded Americans we are. We've had to have a drink in our hand throughout this show. And every single show, Mr. Graham, the gin binge rolls on. What are we drinking?
Yes, it does. This is, we're not revisiting. We haven't had this one yet. The brand we are revisiting, Warner's, which we had a couple of weeks ago, but this is the raspberry flavored gin. Jamie Fruity and Vibrant at 80 proof. A third of this bile is real raspberry and blackberry juice.
Just
That's
like
a very odd odor.
Yeah. The odor, I'm kind of with you.
I don't know what it is.
taste is fantastic.
No, it tastes great, but the odor is really.
Elderflower.
Is that what it is?
1/3 of every bottle is real berry juice, jam-packed with fruity flavor, infused with local hand-picked elderflower, and distilled on our family farm in the British countryside.
Wish I known there was. I had elderflower tonic in the fridge. I would have grabbed that
Oh,
instead.
that
went
might
with
have
the-
killed it. What did you
the-
do it with?
I did the light Indian tonic. I just wanted to go with something that wasn't too quinine.
In my opinion, I think that's a better choice because the elderflower really. I mean, that smell. You're right. That's exactly what it is. It's very weedy.
Yep. It's delicious. I fucking love this.
Really, really fantastic. Really
I'm
fantastic.
so glad I represent this.
Yeah, it's got a little bit more body to it. And you said they had some other flavors as well?
They do, but we don't have them here. We only have the unflavored gin. They're rhubarb, and this one available in Maryland
Got it.
at the moment.
Is this to kind of go against the Whitley Neal brand for the most part? Kind of same idea. Very good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is absolutely delightful.
I don't know, Taylor's saying your gin smells of elderberries.
Yeah.
It's not elderberry there, Chief.
No, he's quoting a movie.
Oh.
Now go away. I shall be forced to taunt you a second time.
Careful, might get flagged for copyright again.
That was Sattery, my friends.
you never disappoint.
I try my best.
To disappoint, we know.
Yeah, that's what I do.
We just keep lowering our standards.
Look.
If this was a proper job, you'd been fired long ago.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
They're already the guys are already jumping into Arsenal jokes, and it's like, yeah, no, guys, I'm up first.
I'm the one driving the bus. So what does it say about you two fuck knuckles? Let's have a good show, everybody.
What's a fuck knuckle?
Oh, if you don't know, your wife is not enjoying things.
First of all, yes, she is. Who doesn't love surprise anal? Keep your fuck knuckle.
If we could title that the show, we would. But
JK.
boys, do your worst. Do your worst. You all know that's coming. I very much
I'm just
liked.
thinking of all the blues people that may be checking out for the first time ever, and they're like,
That's where they're going. I warned them on the blues show. I was like, look, we just say really wretched shit on this show. It's just how it goes. In the final week of the season, and before we get into the final day, there was a little bit of catching up that had to do, and it honestly would shape the finale's storyline. Aston Villa 3, Liverpool 3, Man City 2, Tottenham 0, Chelsea 2, Brighton 1, Man United 3, Newcastle 2. And all of these games, they all had some kind of impact on how the table was going to line up. None of these were dud matches for the most part.
Yeah, basically, it was essentially all of the teams that needed to do their job didn't want to wait till the final day, just decided to get it done.
Get the job done.
Except Spurs, obviously.
Right. Well,
Fucking.
although I would say Villa tried all they could to fuck that one off.
Emi Martinez tried all he could to fuck that one up.
Yeah. And then down 3-1, and
Yeah,
it took
big time.
two goals from Duran in the
And
80th.
one of them was a fucking nice goal.
Oh, it was a peach.
Can't beat
my
it.
God. You're just like, how the fuck he scored that one? Like, on the... Just, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was wild.
Yeah.
Wild stuff. Great comeback. Spoiling Klopp's party to a degree, which I enjoyed.
Yeah, just for... The one major thing that it did, regrettably for you, is it eliminated Spurs from any chance at Champions League.
Right.
And you needed them when they then played City the next day
To have a chance,
need
yeah.
that game.
To have a chance.
And in fairness to them, they played defensively. They tried to stymie.
But that's not how they play.
Right.
Their recent results against City, if you think back to like the 3-3, for instance, when they were
Right.
down 2-0 at halftime or whatever it was, they try to go toe-to-toe with City.
Right.
So why change your tactics?
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like you kind of wanted to lose.
Okay. Well, I mean, one would say that
Documents, Sam?
That-
One would say documents?
I would say that that Son wanted the children to see City win the title and not Arsenal, and that's why he missed that shot.
I just think that in the kind of northern North London area where Spurs is, there's a couple more gay frogs today. That's all I'm saying.
Sattery.
That's all I'm saying.
And
It's an Alex Jones bit if you're new to the show that we make fun of.
It took them until the second half to get the goals, but they did finally get the goals. And I would say City never looked truly uncomfortable.
At all. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, they looked like they were ready
The only
to go.
time they looked uncomfortable was when Son was bearing down on goal and he fucked it off. So
Yeah, he did.
yeah.
Wednesday, there was a lot to actually play for because three of these four teams are all battling for the final European spots, which, by the way, when we're all done here,
It's still not settled.
it's not decided yet. There's
Yeah.
still the FA Cup, and that can change everything.
I mean, this is certainly like obviously a bit of foreshadowing here. Luton needing to overturn a 12-goal swing to stay in the league.
Right.
Size effort from Manchester United in that FA Cup. I just can't see it happening. If that,
It's
can't
that's
see it
going to be
happening.
in the AFL show. We'll talk about it
Yeah.
there. No worries. Yeah, but you're right. Very short discussion. No.
what's your prediction? City wins.
But here's the thing. Chelsea, before the weekend comes to the end, they find themselves sitting in what will be at least a European spot. What European spot that is still to
know
be
yet.
determined.
Yeah.
But in a European spot. So then going into the weekend, all they had to do, hold serve, which is a great place to be in. And for me,
Especially when you've got the momentum that they had. I mean, after finishing out their weekend game, they were 5 straight wins.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that's amazing. From a team that was so inconsistent to show that consistency when it really counted was massive. And
Exactly.
it does a lot for their confidence going into the next season.
So one last thought, and then we get into obviously the meat and potatoes of what the show is tonight, which is the final day. Was that United just finally waking up for a moment, or was that Newcastle just fucking it off?
I think a little bit of both because United weren't as devastating as they probably can be. So honestly, I think it's a little bit of both. I think it was more one of those like, one eye open on the couch. You realize your kid's fucking up, so you hit him on the forehead.
The whack.
Yeah, I think that's kind
Stop fucking around.
Just settle down,
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it was more of that than it was like, oh, we're a cohesive unit now.
Right. Exactly.
Because they aren't.
No.
They very much aren't.
Still stick with the fact that they are frauds. So going into the final game of the season, City's on top by what, 2 points at that point?
2 points, but behind on goal differential.
Yep, but behind on goal differential. Villa had finally secured Champions League.
Yeah, with
Tottenham-
their draw and Tottenham's loss midweek, 4th was finished.
Yep, Tottenham was safe in 5th. Chelsea was finally in the driver's seat. And it looked like, as far as the relegation battle went, there was still a chance for Luton, but it was going to need a 13-goal swing. And-
Herculean effort.
yeah, so, but what it did was set us up for the final week of the season.
Yep.
The stage is set. All 20 clubs kick off at the same time. The title is on the line, and it all depends on,
Oh, no, go ahead. It all depends on.
well, if West Ham can... Oh, nope, Phil Foden already scored minute 30 into the
I
game.
was going to set the stage for you.
Yeah, no.
I had iPad open
Yeah.
on the coffee table on City, muted.
Uh-huh,
I had Arsenal on the television
uh-huh,
all the way to max.
uh-huh. And goal.
Yeah. And I there was a break in play.
Yeah.
I went, cleared my nose like this and looked down, and Phil Foden sliding in the car. I was like, fuck!
I mean, immediately, we're all in the dark horse, and everybody's just like, City's already won the title.
Yeah.
Like, the whole room said it.
And so I just went. I sat there for about 2 minutes in disbelief that it only took 90 seconds. It actually was 72 seconds, by the way. And then just shut my eyes. I was like, fuck it. Just shut my iPad. And was like, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy the last day of the season. Because there was, as I woke up, just a kind of an air of inevitability
Right,
around it. It was always going to be a tall order.
right, exactly.
So I didn't really have any actual expectations, but I thought my excitement would last longer than 90 seconds.
Yeah,
I thought the
exactly.
drama would last longer than 90 seconds.
No, not at all.
Sure didn't. But there was still somewhat of a chance for Luton.
Yeah, there wasn't there?
I mean, was there?
I mean, there's mathematically there's a tight chance.
And then Chris Wood scores in the second minute. Now you're gonna need a 14th goal, cunts.
We're like, okay, the stage is set for everything. Goal. Don't even worry about it. Just go home. You can go home now. Go back to bed. It's already decided.
Especially last week, we're all bigging up. Oh, the final week's gonna be great. You still got all these different things. Well, actually exciting 3-3 draw with Villa Liverpool. A boring ass 2-0 win for City over Tottenham.
Yeah.
There's 4th and 5th decided.
Yep.
And then you come down to this, and you're like, all right, we still got the title and relegation to worry about.
Right.
It'll be nope. 2 minutes.
Nope.
2 fucking minutes. It's
Nope.
over.
We're like already determined.
I
It
can't
is
believe it.
already fucking determined.
I couldn't believe it.
And we're going to have a little bit of a theme here. Another quick goal. In the 9th minute, Mateta scores and puts Palace up on Villa 1-0.
Yes, he did. That would be one of many goals he got that day. Because in the 14th minute, Chris Wood scores again to put Forest 2-0 up. You're going to need a 15th goal, guys. And then Kulusevski scored to put Spurs up 1-0. The Blades have now, I think, equaled at that point, wasn't it, the most goals ever conceded in a single season at 102?
Yes.
At
Yep,
that stage.
at that
I
stage.
think that's correct.
Yep.
Arsenal had already had some chances, and then Phil Foden scored again.
And that's what was funny. It was you guys were knocking at the door. Pickford made a couple of decent saves, and it was like, but you guys were clearly the aggressor, right? And you just no, they're already down 2-0. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, and
Because
so
at least one goal, you're like, okay, well, they can score one and maybe, level it
as
out.
unlikely as it would have been to claw your way back to 1-1 and then hold on for a draw at that point, that was even more unlikely than holding out for a 0-0, I thought, right? Once City went 2-0 up, it truly was done and dusted. I didn't think there would be a way West Ham would be able to score 2 goals.
No, they're not scoring 2. They're just not scoring 2.
At least without getting, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 City players sent off.
Right. It just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, then everybody went, oh, City's already won the title in the first minute. Then everybody went, oh, yeah, City's definitely won
it's
the
finished.
title already.
It's over. There was a moment there after the Arsenal stadium, after the Emirates got wind of City's second goal. The camera focused in on a section of Arsenal fans. You know how they kind of focus in on the crowd, and you can see like 15 people in your television screen. So they're pretty detailed and everything, right? You could just see one guy turn to the other guy and just kind of want to just go drink. Like,
We should go drink now.
fuck it.
Mel, what do you got for us?
Oh, it's just Taylor, a jagged little Phil.
You know he's going to be punny tonight. You know he's going to be punny.
What? Just don't retire, and then you can save all the sweet material for next year. You have to get it all out in one thing.
Oh. So as we were saying, Newcastle, Chelsea, and Man U were all still fighting for Europe, and Chelsea are the first to strike as Concedo, finally, for his $100 million, scores a goal from 50 yards out in the 17th minute.
Hey, you know what? That's what you get. $2 million for every yard.
Yeah, Jesus.
Only goal he scored in the season, and it's from inside the center circle on a fucking ridiculously terrible goalkeeping error.
Oh my God, it was
What are
horrid.
you doing?
Absolutely horrid. And in the 24th minute, Barnes gets a goal for Newcastle. So here you go. Newcastle and Chelsea are doing what they're doing, and
It was a lovely header as well.
And I will eventually, at some point on the next page, talk about the other team because that's about what they offered.
The angled ball in, I think it was from Guimaraes to Harvey Barnes. It was an excellent ball, and you could just see exactly where he was going. He followed the ball flight and put his head through it and just stared at the spot that he was going at, and it was right that little postage stamp at the top left corner.
Yep, exactly.
Absolutely fantastic. I forgot. Sorry, it's taken a long time to mention this. It was Jurgen's last match. And Semedo did his part by getting sent off for Wolves in the 28th minute.
Oh, how
to
nice
make it
of
a
him.
little easier on McAllister to score just 6 minutes later to put the Reds 1-0 up. Luckily, Alexis McAllister didn't break his leg because that was fucking terrible.
Ooh, it was bad. I mean,
You
it
could
was a red. It was a red.
It was it was a red.
And
And
no doubt about
I'm
it.
sorry, Wolves, but that appeal's going to go fucking nowhere because you're the reason VAR exists,
You're
according
right.
to this. Initially a yellow card given, of course, but the week after Wolves announced that they're going to put to the General Assembly, which is all 20 owners, a kind of motion to scrap VAR altogether for the start of next season. VAR works, and it gets used against you again to upgrade that yellow to a red.
Normally, last game of the season, they'd have been like, nah, we don't need to go take a look at that. It's fine. It's a yellow card. Who cares? Let's keep the game going. Let's get this thing done. They went, oh, wait, they said what? Maybe you should take a little extra look at that one real quick.
Get rid of VAR, does he?
Uh-huh. Well, did you want to make us lose jobs? I got you.
Yep.
Newcastle get a pair of goals from Murphy and Isak 2 minutes apart and then find themselves up 3-0 on Brentford, despite the fact that Brentford had a goal called back real early.
Oh, yeah.
They actually scored faster than City did, but the goal got
called back for offsides against Ivan Toney. Apparently, Palace decided to care in this match and take some momentum in the next season and go up 2 with Mateta scoring his second.
Yeah, you are going to, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to say it right now. Your top half of the table, 10th place, Crystal Palace boys and girls.
Yeah.
Tell me who had that on their bingo card.
No shit.
Not even Brajan had that on their bingo card.
No. If they can hold on to players this summer, they will be.
Could be a European
They'll
team.
be exciting next season.
Yeah, they could be a team that could maybe
Yeah,
backdoor into Europe.
absolutely.
Oh, absolutely, they
Problem
could
is
be.
they're going to get picked off left, right, and center.
They ain't keeping any of them. The sad part is Mateta got hot at the wrong time when everybody's going to notice, and his ass is getting signed too. They're losing all 3 of those fuckers. It's going to happen. Just telling you. That is definitely going to happen. At last, Arsenal is dominating. It's only a matter of time before there's a goal. Problem, Idrissa Gana Gueye scores, and he plays for Everton. Everton up 1-0.
What is this fucking farewell tour he's on where he's just scoring goals left, right, and center? Goals have never really been a part of his game.
What the fuck is he doing taking the set
Absolutely
piece?
fucking killed me.
We were doing all kinds of wackadoodle shit. We had Dom took a set piece. He took a set piece. We were just like, oh, whatever. We're just going out there.
Look, Sean Dice was the Oprah of set pieces.
He was like,
You get a set piece. You get a set piece.
Now, in fairness, he does take them for Senegal. He takes most of their set pieces for Senegal, but just fucking random. Not a good day at the office for Rice, for Declan Rice. I mean, his body of work for the season.
Oh yeah.
Foreshadow. He's gonna be number 1 on the signings for me.
Yeah,
He's the difference maker for your team. But yesterday, he had a shit day at the office. He did not look good.
No, and we have gone kind of the way of both Rice and Odegaard this season. When they play well together at the same time, we have pretty much
Worldy.
not lost.
Yeah. Sorry there, wanted to drink a little beer for this one because I'm about to be verklempt, so allow me to prepare myself. Kwanzaa taps a solid shot into the goal, and the Reds go up 2-0. Good news. Nothing else happens. Liverpool wins. Bye-bye, Jurgen. There we go. We don't have to talk about that fucker anymore. Big, bright, shiny teeth. You won 2-0 against a 10-man side that didn't give a fuck. So there you go. That's your career. Have fun. Bye.
I still have closing remarks.
You can say whatever the fuck you want about him. I have done my obligatory we talked about Liverpool on this show, and that is it, my friend.
All right. But you're saying there's a chance because Kudus scored with probably the best goal of the day.
He chipped it up to the foot. He bicycled. Gee, how
So
the
now-
fuck did he do that?
If Crystal Palace's front three display on Sunday wasn't a come get me plea, this goal definitely was.
Oh, it
The sheer audacity to attempt this at the home of the champions
Yeah.
as well is absurd. It's just absolutely absurd.
Oh, you got the big Viking? Look
yeah.
what I can do. Boom.
It's just ridiculous. So that brought it to 2-1. Mm-hmm. I caught wind of that.
Uh-huh.
I turned the City game back on my phone
Yep.
and started watching again.
I mean, it was sexy.
Oh, it's
It
big time
was-
sexy.
I got to take a pregnancy test.
Everyone in the bar,
Jesus.
everyone in the bar stopped and went,
Look at that. Yeah. And do you know what he said prior to the game in the pre-match? He said, my Ghanaian brother, Thomas Partey, texted me and said, Muhammad, you know what to do. Well, he did his part. You can't be mad at him. Just be mad at everybody else at West Ham. Now all the Gunners need to do is answer the call, and in the 43rd minute they do is Takahiro Tomiyasu makes it 1-1, popping up out of nowhere. He had 3 fucking shots on Sunday.
it's the most random. You're like,
It's very strange.
he scored?
Yeah, but I'll take it. It's perfectly fine with me. Luton and Fulham were playing a match, and then all the goals at the end of the half.
Jesus, everything fucking happened. And it was like from the 43rd minute to halftime.
No shit. A pair of, they're still in Fulham. It's funny how you wrote that. Goals from Traore and Jimenez sandwiched around a Chris Morris penalty. The Traore strike was one of the purest hit volleys I've ever seen in my life. It was not obviously of the quality of that Zidane against Leverkusen volley that went 1,000 feet in the air before he picked it out with his left foot.
Right.
But the actual contact of the ball with foot was extremely pure. And as big as that man is, I think that goal needs to be checked out for cracks.
Yeah, what's funny about that is we all know he has that in his bag. We also know that he has in his bag, the ability to just run up and down the sideline
And do
aimlessly
nothing.
and do
Yeah.
fuck all. That was absolutely crazy. Yep. And so with that, the first half has come to an end, my friend.
Yeah. Renewed optimism. I didn't talk to anyone really
Yeah.
during the day. I didn't want during the games. I didn't want to speak to anybody. I just wanted to focus on it. I was also at the field with Tegan. I had both machines operating, so there was no texting back and forth because I'd missed something.
Yep.
And then occasionally I'd watch my daughter play soccer.
All right, so it didn't take too terribly long. Janelt scored for Brentford, making it 3-1. So they're maybe going to have a little bit of a fighting chance.
That
back
was
in
a
there.
good goal as well.
Yeah.
The pass, especially to find him. I believe it was Johan Wisa.
It
It
was.
was fantastic pass.
And then Sterling scores to go up 2-0, but only for them to turn right back around like a minute later and give up an own goal to make it 2-1.
Yeah, Chelsea did Chelsea it at that stage. That's absolutely true. Jimenez does it again and puts Fulham 3-1 up, but Doherty quickly scores to make it 3-2 as the Hatters aren't going away without one last fight,
It's who they are. It's who they've been all season.
which is ultimately, in my eyes, what's led to their downfall. I told you this how many weeks in a row now. They needed to be a bit more pragmatic, and they just weren't.
So then we have Palace come out swinging and in the second, and Eze scores in the 55th minute, and perhaps Villa has gone limp in this match.
I just don't think they gave a fuck, Villa, at all.
Not-
Mel, any insight as to what your team was doing there?
No, I had fucked off to a rehearsal.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I didn't know what point during the game you left.
I left at halftime. I was gonna leave later, but when I was sitting next to my mom at the bar, and I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm leaving.
Okay.
and
What
no
score
one.
are we at with Villa? Are we at 4, 5, 4,
We're
0?
at
That was
3.
3. No one.
Yeah,
Fuck me.
you've got a long way to go, sweetheart.
Like, no one's paying attention to the Villa Crystal Palace game in the bar. No one, including my wife,
I'm
right?
not even looking.
And it's
I'm
just
seriously,
Jan-
I watched none of
and
it.
it's I'm standing behind Jan. It's just Jan going, poking her, going, hey, we just scored.
Jan's only
Hey, we
watching
just
Crystal
scored.
Palace.
That is the only thing she's focusing on.
Yeah.
I
we
really
scored
think
again. We scored
she
again.
is the only person in the bar watching that match.
Yeah.
And there was
Because the
two
fight
Pal-
for 10th, no one cares.
And there was another Palace person in
Oh,
there.
they care. 10th place is a big fuck deal for
well,
them.
yeah, I know it's better than 12th, but fuck it.
Yeah, it's not the same old, same old.
Yeah, so in the 59th minute, City go back up by 2. And of course, it's the daddy of the team, Rodri.
Rodri. It's always whenever they need the goal. It's always fucking Rodri.
It's always important. It's always of decent quality. Now, I personally think Areola could have done better.
Yeah, it looked like it might have hit somebody on the way through, and maybe
Possibly.
he had a hard time seeing it. But yeah, I'm with you. He could have probably.
He got a hand to
yeah,
it,
I
and
think
if
he
you
could have.
got that much of a hand to it, you should be tipping it around the post, in my view. So they're 3-1 up in the title, starting to look like it's all theirs.
So typically, this is something we would just not talk about, but it's the after effect of it all that has to be talked about. So Decore and Gabrielle are kind of going at it. Gabrielle kind of takes like a little bit of a swing at him from behind, and Decore just goes right through him because Decore definitely
He's a
has
dickhead.
Decore has that in his bag.
Yeah,
you want to
remember
take
he
a swipe at me?
choked out Tyler Adams.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you on the ground. So he takes a swipe at Gabrielle's legs. In all of his Brazilianness, even though he's a center back, decides to jump into the air, grab his knees, going cannonball. But the problem is he rolls over and lands on his shoulder, has to go out injured.
Yeah.
Like, it's the most Brazilian thing ever.
It's
Like,
not the brightest tool in the shed.
you're gonna get a yellow
Now-
card anyway. Like, he's gonna get the yellow card. You didn't need to accentuate it. It wasn't like it was gonna be a red. Like, it wasn't gonna be a red.
Yeah, so he's
And
got
you hurt yourself in the process.
he's got the turkey teeth veneers. So while he's not the brightest tool in the shed, he definitely has the brightest teeth in the team.
It just made me giggle. It's like,
Yeah.
you did all that, you dumbass, and you actually made the Brazil squad for Copa this summer, and but you might ruin it by. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be too hurt
yeah. It just
in a
it
few
was
days.
too hysterical. It
That was pretty bad.
It was about the most Brazilian thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
it really was.
100%. Sheffield gave up goals 103, 104, as they are now the team to hold the dubious record of having the most goals scored against them in a single season. That's Pedro Porro with another Thunderbolt. I should just call him Zeus from now on, because the only thing that he throws up are lightning strikes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just absolute banger. And then Kulusevski scored the other for Spurs, and they actually just ended up seeing that out, 3-0 win.
I was gonna say good news. We don't have to fucking talk about that game anymore. We're all done with it.
Yep. I'm so sick of Sheffield. Fuck.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Mateta got his hat trick, and Ezzy got a brace. And Mel, would it interest you to hear that Palace was fucking?
Okay, so at this point, I am at rehearsals that started at 12:30. Okay, I see you pulling out. I'm trying to figure out how to put the camera on me while I'm talking to you guys.
And I want to say, Elise had 3 of the
Two or
assists.
3 assists, yeah.
It was just, it's those front 3. They're doing everything.
So again, I'm at rehearsal, doing pre-stuff. Actors are coming in, and my mother calls. Holy shit, guys! I gotta take this. Hey, mom, everything okay? Oh yeah, Palace. We were up 5-0.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Mom.
Mom.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it, Mom. Good looking out.
How long did she stay at the bar?
Oh, she stayed till the end.
Did she?
Yep.
Did she have a good time?
It was cute. She bought a.
Yeah, they won 5-0.
She bought a plate of fries because I hadn't ordered lunch yet, and I was going to order lunch. She was like, make sure you eat. I'm like, I'm gonna eat, Jan. I'm
She
good.
bought you fries?
Yeah, and she
'Cause
bought-
that's what you should be eating.
Yeah, I was like,
Sam's a 12-year-old boy. All he needs is a side of fries. He's fine.
I mean,
we'll get some nuggies when you get home.
She has been hanging around children too long.
I did have a good amount of Westward coffees, and definitely threw back a couple 2-3 red snappers there too.
I
So
was so glad Hiram was driving you home.
yeah, we're good. All good.
Well, in lieu of my Malort shot, because I didn't fucking watch the game either, a toast to Villanista, Lindsay Williams, who got engaged on Sunday, and she fucked off the match also.
Hey.
Can I
Congratulations.
toast that with Malort? I mean, they do in Chicago, but Mazel Tov.
When it's coming from us,
Yeah.
they know it's going to be Malort.
Congratulations, Your Highness.
Yeah, very well done. Congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, it's my turn now.
Yeah, it is. When there's a big G next to it, it means
Yeah,
it's you.
so I wasn't looking at him. At the same time, Fulham is putting their match to bed with a Harry Wilson goal in the 69th minute. Draw hard around it. They went on to beat Luton 4-2.
Yeah. And like you said, the very thing that people liked about Luton was exactly what sent them down.
Yeah, and basically, both teams that played City in the build-up to the final weekend decided to save all their goals for the final day, rat bastards. Thanks a lot. You fucking dickheads.
We ended up having a flurry of goals from about the 70th to the 75th as Wisa makes it 3-2.
Bro, this easily the second best goal, in my opinion, of the day. Little kind of chop back inside, I guess you'd call it. It wasn't really a graceful stride. It was kind of, he chopped the ball back, kind of jumped over a leg, had to take a longer step. But the way that he wrapped his foot around the ball and curled it into that far corner, it made Phil Foden's opening goal at West Ham look like fucking JV.
Yeah, it was nasty.
It was dirty.
That's another one of those teams because you don't just think about Ivan Toney. It's like, are you going to keep Wisa and are you going to keep Mbeumo? Like, they may be forced to pick up that contract of less pay because they're not going to have any other fucking strikers.
Yeah, 100%.
So along with that, but Newcastle turns right back around and answers as Bruno Guimaraes, after having the great assist, finishes off the Bees just 2 minutes later, and they get the win 4-2. Josh Cullen does get a goal for Burnley, but Forest did exactly what they needed to do. They held him off. They got there, and they are in for survival.
And that was a ridiculous deflection. I mean, Matt Sells had it easily covered. But one of the defenders overstretched and it hit off the inside of his leg and went back, and Sells was already essentially on the ground.
Yeah, you just watch it go the other way.
Very unfortunate. But other than that, Forrest never really looked in any sort of discomfort either.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, fuck. I totally forgot, man. You was playing.
No shit, they were, huh?
Yeah.
You like how I left that one for you? I knew you'd appreciate to be able to talk about this one.
Absolutely. The other thing I have to say about this is, as we'll come on to close out, are we close out betting next week or this week?
Oh, we're closing out betting this week, yeah.
Yeah, so this would be a poignant place to say, Mel, you're off the hook since I had Villa or tie in my bet because, man, you fucked it off and decided to be good today.
Yeah.
For 8 minutes.
Yep.
But in this game, you have Dallow and Hoyland score right at the death to beat the Seagulls 2-0 in a very surprise Roberto De Zerbi last match, which was announced the day prior to the game.
Yeah, that
very
was
strange kind of timing. Yep. But they only matched the results of Chelsea and Newcastle, so no chance of movement on Brighton's part. I'm sorry, on Manchester United's part.
And we'll get to that a little bit here at the end. After dominating the entire match, Havertz finally puts Arsenal ahead 2-1 as the ref actually, for the first time I've ever seen, lets the call stand after looking at the TV.
Yeah, usually when they go to the screen, they're overturning it.
So I'll say this, and then we'll finish up the final thought there because we're right at the end of the day. We say this every time. It's a shit rule. The handball rule is shit because if that was a defender who did that, would have been called a handball.
I'm not sure. The reason I say that is, and I've heard two other people say this versus everybody else that's outraged.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. It's the end of the game meant nothing.
So where does the arm end and the shoulder begin?
Right.
And the kind of arbitrary, and yes, it's arbitrary, point of that is the T-shirt rule.
Right.
Where if it's above the T-shirt line, it's shoulder.
Right.
Not arm.
Right.
So where Thomas Suchek volleyed that second goal for West Ham in with his forearm.
Right, with the forearm.
Very clearly below the T-shirt line. That was obviously him practicing out for the volleyball team. That was very obviously a handball. The other piece to that, too, is that led directly to a goal. This did not.
This led to the buildup of the goal.
This led to the buildup of the goal.
Yeah, that's fair.
So automatic disallowed if it leads directly to a goal. If it's accidental or whatever by an attacker, like or this T-shirt thing,
there's no accident in it.
What I'm saying, his arm was against his body.
His arm was against his body,
right.
But he led, like what he used to move that ball was his arm.
Right. So the only thing I can think of is the stupid T-shirt thing, which I agree is arbitrary, but at least that's consistent.
So my argument there is, and again, the ultimate, I could give a fuck, right? Like, you guys were far and away the better team. You should have beaten us well earlier than
We
that.
hit the fucking post 3 times.
Shouldn't have come
Crossbar
to,
once.
It should not have come to that. It should have been
absurd.
over a long time ago. But if that ball is a ball that's bouncing across the center of the box, and James Tarkovsky has his arm against him and does the exact same thing to put the ball down in front of him so he can clear it, would have been called a handball.
Probably.
The rules
Possibly.
are different for a defender than it is for an attacker. And as we've said, them the rules, and we understand that. It's a shit rule. It's definitely
the
a
arbitrary
shit rule.
T-shirt thing is kind of weird to me, but I guess you have to quote unquote draw that line somewhere. But that's the only reason I can see that it would be given, is that it wasn't conclusive whether or not it was below the T-shirt, because it did on at least the television cameras. He had his body turned a bit, so you couldn't really see that. So that's the only thing I can think of as to why it still stood. But
yeah, I mean, like I said, it ultimately meant fuck all.
Yep.
Arsenal go on to win, but it means very little because as the whistle blows, City holds on to what is theirs and win their 4th straight title and their 8th so far in the Premier League era.
yes, and also no other team in the history of British football has won 4 straight league titles.
Wow.
Not just the Premier League era. So they have achieved something fantastic. Obviously for them, it is congratulations, well done. Can't wait for those charges to come to light properly. What I will say about that, I know we talked on Soundcheck a little bit with Mark about it. From discovering of issue to actual charging took 8 months for Everton's 1 charge. Took 7.5 months for Forest 1 charge.
Yeah.
Took a further 5 months or whatever for Everton's 2nd charge. So,
And there's already rumor that there's going to be another charge on Everton already.
well, so there's 8 months from investigation to charge for the one thing, right? Another 3 months or whatever it was for hearing. Then you had the 2nd charge come out a few weeks later. Then the appeal, then the 2nd charge. I mean, it took 18 months almost to get everything resolved, and that was a total of 2 charges. Manchester City's case is complex. It covers different facets of the business, and there could be some extra criminality stuff against their owners because of falsification of documents, not just you fucked up. You also lied about fucking up.
Right.
So there could be extra punishments and extra things that aren't football related at all levied against the owners, like some sort of sanctions, some sort of fines, some sort of other things against them as individuals because of them lying on their reported papers.
Unfortunately, the problem that lies there is that there's still no real transparency from the league other than to say soon.
Yeah.
It's going to happen soon. Soon. When soon? Soon enough.
Right.
Like, whereas all the other cases, they're like, charges came out immediately. This is when the hearing is. This is when we're doing it. And again, like you said, there's a lot of fucking moving parts within all of this. But, you wonder if they're just trying to shuffle and delay to figure out the way to make it all go away.
I don't think they'll be able to make it all go away, but I don't know that they'll get dock points now.
Yeah, that's what you wonder,
Yeah.
Is do they just fine them a shit ton of money?
What's the year? Is it 2024?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got it. So basically, if you take the 8 months as a point that it took them to charge you with one thing, right? With 115 charges, that would be 920 months. 920 months is 76 years. And if you add that to 2024, they will finally be brought to court in the year 2100. So we'll all be long fucking dead.
We'll all be long fucking gone.
By the time City is held to account. The people in trouble will be long fucking dead.
So the 3 who came up are the 3 who go down. I don't think we're ultimately very surprised by that. I think some of us, myself included, thought maybe Burnley was going to have something to kind of show.
They made it interesting towards the end, but it took them too long to do that.
I think we're not surprised by who the people down near the bottom of the table were for the most part, are in and around there. I think we're all very surprised at how well Bournemouth and how well Palace did. I think we're all kind of surprised by that.
I'm not really surprised by Palace necessarily because those front three are so good. I thought they ultimately made the right decision finally getting rid of Hodgson at the time that they did because it allowed, and they got their search absolutely spot on with his replacement in Oliver Glasner, who kind of let the leash off those three. But Roy Hodgson, remember, had long stretches of the season where he was without Elise and Eze due to injury.
Right.
So he was kind of hamstrung to an extent, but why Mateta wasn't playing over Jordan Ayew, I'll never know, because that was a bit ridiculous.
It's been forever for Villa being back in the Champions League, but they are
Former winners of that competition,
absolutely,
years and years and years ago.
And you have Tottenham going to Europe. You have they're going to Europa no matter what. You have Chelsea going to either the Conference League or Europa, depending on what happens in the FA Cup final.
Right.
It's very simple. As long as City wins the FA Cup, Chelsea and Newcastle go to Europe. If United win, Chelsea go to the Conference League, United goes to Europa, and Newcastle fucks right off and doesn't get to go to Europe. So there's still a lot to play for with that final. But what I want to do now is, honestly, you know, everybody can make the stupid cliche of the, you know, if you don't win, you lost, right? And everybody can be like, oh, well, you know what, Arsenal, you're the same spot we are. You didn't win. But no. It's a pretty fucking amazing season for you guys.
Yep.
Certainly a lot better than last year. And last year was a pretty fucking amazing season for you. So the floor is yours, Mr. Graham.
Yeah, so everybody said last year what we did basically was prove that it wasn't a fluke, essentially. Right. You know, we were kind of the unknown quantity. We were kind of the unknown, you know, team last season. We pulled up some trees and did some amazing things. We came back this season. We added in the right spots, and we came back this season, and we now have the highest point total Arsenal have achieved. We eclipsed the Invincibles point total without winning the league. We scored the most goals Arsenal have ever scored in a Premier League season, and did it without really a proper number 9. It's just remarkable, really, the excitement I get on the weekends now, you know, from where we were. I've always been excited for a game no matter what. I always support my boys no matter what, but it's a very different headspace when you're the guy on the outside looking in, but your expectations are still where they used to be.
Yeah. When I came into following Everton in 2009, 2010, you were at the tail end of Wenger, and it was just every season it'd be like the Wenger Cup, 3rd or 4th place, and then it would be which one of your young players are you losing to United or Barca? Which one of your guys are you losing to another Champions League team? Right.
And a lot of that was necessary because of funding the Emirates still and paying the Emirates off and those loans off, so we didn't end up like Everton.
Yeah, precisely.
Really, at the end of the day. But, now, of course, a lot of these rules weren't there, so our financing structures were a bit different, of course. But
I would assume because Mashiri came from the Arsenal era of when that was happening. I guarantee you some Uncle Uzmanov money was passed around on that stadium build.
I'm sure. But Kroenke has a shit ton of money, too.
Yeah, precisely.
But there's, besides that, you also have Arsene Wenger, who was probably the last proper manager where he was in charge of fucking everything at the club. The last proper manager that there was, also having a degree in economics.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he knew what he was doing. He did it, and he did things accordingly in conjunction with the board rather than try to fight them on stuff.
Right. Which
seems to be what brought De Zerbi's time to an end. Was, you know, kind of he wanted to build a squad. Brighton don't want to spend money. So they decided to part ways. But yeah, it was, you know, all that kind of stuff happened. But those expectations that I had, you know, in the middle into late high school when I started following my boys, when we were, you know, 2002, won a double, went invincible in 2004, and won the Premier League.
We're going to do this every fucking year.
Wenger, in my time, I was a witness to 5 of the 7, I think, maybe 6 of the 7 FA Cups that Wenger won in his time with Arsenal. It was just, we got complacent, we got used to it, and it was always, just like United had struggled, it was always going to be difficult when a man like that left. Liverpool may go through it soon. with what's happening with Jurgen, obviously. But now, obviously, he wasn't as long tenured as Wenger or Sir Alex were.
Right, of course.
But he's had just as much of an influence on that football club as they had.
Absolutely.
And I don't know what they're going to get. They're going to be moving on some big stars, I'm sure. Salah seems like he's kind of 1 foot out the door to Saudi, potentially. Few of those sorts of things. But those expectations have finally come full circle. And Liverpool fans will know this feeling very well after not going after a title for 30 years to Jurgen bringing it back for them, asterisk COVID, but still got them a title.
Right.
So our drought hasn't been as severe, but almost has. This is now 20 years. We haven't won the title. It's been since the Invincibles we haven't won the title.
Right.
But we're starting to finally shake the Invincibles tag and reclaim the Arsenal way and the Arsenal identity, and it's fun to watch. It's fun to feel like you're a part of it. And
Well, also playing very modern football. You can tell Arteta is a Pep disciple.
oh, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. And just the way he talks. And he's, everybody talks about, oh, we made great progress. We did this, that, the other. And Arteta said it in his final interview of the season. He said, this wasn't progress. And he laid out all those things that I said for you at the start of this. That's history. We made history. Pep's Man City have set the standard so fucking high that you need near perfection to win, which is both undesirable and unattainable because the jeopardy of sport no longer really exists because they control 99 out of the 100 controllables.
Right.
And it makes football kind of boring, right? But that gold standard is what you're striving to fight for, and we actually improved on what City did last season.
Yeah.
If City did the exact same season they did last year, we would have won the league by 1 goal on goal difference this season. If we did what we did this season and they did what they did last season.
Right.
So we improved technically on what they did.
But it didn't matter.
It didn't matter. They rose the bar to that much more. We went undefeated for the first time, I think, since the Invincibles against the traditional Big Six this season. We took 4 points off Spurs, 4 points off City, 6 off United, 6 off Chelsea. No, we drew Chelsea early in the season, I think 2-2. So 4 off Chelsea. And there's one more that I can't think of. Liverpool.
Yeah.
We took 4 off Liverpool. We did draw Fulham early in the season and lose to Fulham at Craven Cottage. Both of those are probably ones you can point to. Title's ours.
Yep.
We lost to West Ham at home.
Yep.
Title's ours.
There it is.
Now, the West Ham one especially, we had loads and loads and loads of chances. It just was one of those days where we couldn't score a fucking goal to save our lives. We put every attacker we had on the field, I think, at one point, and couldn't score a goal. But it's those games that make or break you. And, yeah.
So, Mr. Graham, I'm going to do my shot of Malort to your team. I had no problem losing to you. Fuck it, we were safe.
Appreciate that. Could have made it a little less stressful for me, but...
Well, I mean, we were,
and
what?
West Ham could have made it more stressful for me. Would have been nice.
That was a dice team, and we made it difficult, and we didn't roll over and die, right? You think about what happened with Frank Lampard after we survived.
Yeah, no,
and you
exactly.
Guys just beat the ever-loving shit out of
5-0, I
us.
think it was. Yeah.
The boys went out there and played a match, and I was happy with that. And one little pot shot at the league is, you give us back those points, we finish in 12th place. Next time, just fine us $12 million because that hurts the owner. Take it out of their pocketbook. The points only hurt the fans.
Yeah.
That's who it hurts.
I mean,
that's all it hurts.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So, alrighty. Mel, you got anything from the sewing circle?
Yeah, before you guys move on, Shore Billy is quite upset you didn't bring up the goal at Newcastle.
We brought up every single goal. Talked about all 4.
That's what I'm trying to tell him. But
He talked about all 4 of them.
there you go.
Yeah.
Jacob Murphy scored, didn't he?
Yeah, we said Murphy and Isaac. I mean, we didn't go into those 2 goals, but we went into Guimarães and we went into Barnes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, talked about all 4 of them, buddy.
What one would you like us to talk about?
He's got to catch up.
All right,
So
well,
go ahead and take your shot while we're waiting,
Cheers.
Houston.
Cheers.
I was going to toast you there, Stud.
I got you. Sorry. Cheers. For me, while you're taking the shot, the final point I'll finish on Arsenal with is in a situation like we found ourselves on Sunday,
Not going to miss you, my lord.
the most important... You'll have a lot to do next year,
Don't we have
too.
room for Blues matches? No?
Oh yeah, when Blues lose, but
We don't,
Yeah,
Blues
it
aren't
doesn't
gonna
appear
lose.
that's going to happen. They've got a plus 604 goal differential already.
and we beat our rivals yesterday 1-0 and,
Yeah.
and just won a game. Well, fucking nothing.
That's what I'm saying. You got a plus 600 goal differential.
The bullshit overturned VAR.
Oh, no, that was legit.
Yeah, it was legit. You won 4-2. Quit bitching
But
about it.
shut up. Just enjoy it. You might be in Europe if Manchester United continues to suck.
Yeah, that's what you go for.
I almost kind of hope, and I feel bad about this, but I almost kind of hope Manchester United does win the FA Cup. Because that means Eric Ten Hag has a better chance of keeping his job. Which
And
is just best for the rest of the
we
league.
want everybody to have him keep his job.
100%.
Exactly.
But anyway, the thing I wanted to finish on with Arsenal is in that situation that we found ourselves in on Sunday, all you can ask of the boys is do your job. Don't focus on what's going on elsewhere. Don't do anything else. Just do what you're meant to do and control what you can control, and that's what they did. And at the end of the day, you can't be mad at it. What you don't want is to have the chance and let it slip because you couldn't focus. And it was very difficult, and it's not the fans' fault, but the fans made it more difficult with the energy ebbing and flowing with every piece of news that came through over the radio about what was happening in the City game, and never really got what seemed like the atmosphere that's been generated at the Emirates wasn't as... It was very tense. It was very up and down and up and down.
Yeah, and us being assholes just kept singing Spirit of the Blues and shit like that, just being kind of just like,
Right.
oh, fuck it.
We
Y'all
don't
ain't making
care,
no noise.
right?
We're going to sing.
And the players kind of, it seemed, kind of fed on that and took their eye off it. But at the end of the day, they did do their job, and that's all you can ask. And I'm very proud.
Sure money.
I lost by a fucking mile, man. By a fucking mile.
Mel, grab the trash can, please.
Trash can's already full.
Oh, okay. Well,
If you want to try to stuff that in the trash can.
it's not that much.
Guys,
it fit in just
this
fine.
isn't injury time.
Mister. Yeah, exactly. It's done. It's done, Mel.
And it only took 90 seconds.
There we are.
That is real talk.
Actually, no. Graham, much faster. The Cup of Losers is now empty because the season is over, but I am there with you, Mr. Graham. I missed on 2 of my 10. I got 8 of them right, though 2 I missed as I figured Brighton was going to fuck over United.
Yep.
And I thought Villa was going to fuck. And
I
Villa,
thought that those are the same 2 I missed because I thought Villa wanted to end the season on a high.
Yeah.
And Unai Emery ditched the tie and everything. He didn't seem to give a fuck either.
No, and Emmy is hurt, and so that was, Olsen.
So I finished the year down $778.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Did you know that 23.59624% of the time, it worked 100% of the time? It was a foolproof plan, my friend.
Every time I'm waiting for it to be 7 or like one of those long numbers, and it's not been that for a while.
No, it hasn't been that for a while at all. Not at all.
I don't have.
Now,
Oh, Pat didn't have
He
anything.
didn't email.
Well, then nothing.
I don't know where he finished. Probably lost to you.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
lost to me. Yeah,
Pat is
of
down
the humans,
$600.
I beat everybody again. So that's 2 years in a row that I beat everybody.
Yep, but what you failed to realize is I've got 2,947 in free play tokens, so technically I'm even. JK.
Yeah,
It
JK.
didn't happen. Nope. Sure didn't.
Not going to bother with the music and everything. Kitty missed with Burnley. She finishes at 20-16, which is way better than all 3 of us. So,
Big time.
yeah, Kitty got it done.
Yeah.
We all sucked.
Insider trading.
Well, and what should everybody always remember to do when it comes to that, Mel?
Fuck off.
Okay, very good.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Gamble legally and responsibly.
Yeah, that one we have to do.
And if you don't, then fuck off.
All right, Graham, go ahead. Parting words. Talk about the grinning fucking idiot.
Okay, so the Premier League is all about characters.
Copites or gobshites, get stepping, bitch.
That's what we want. We want characters. As much as I didn't care for him while he was there, Jose Mourinho, fucking character, great manager. Pep Guardiola, fucking weirdo, but still a character. Can't stand him, but he's there. Jurgen Klopp, lovable weirdo. Is a great manager. Came in, talked about heavy metal football, talked about all these kind of things that nobody had ever seen, and because it's really hard to fucking do. The reason you see people play like Pep Guardiola's Man City is because you can tactize football passes and shapes and triangles and things. What you can't, counter pressing and the high press and the overlapping, you cannot account for that. That takes into account so many different facets of players' games. It is very, very difficult system to run in general, and somehow he got Liverpool to fucking perfect it. And anybody that could put a dent in Guardiola's Man City is okay in my book. I think we, as a show, we as a Premier League watching public are all going to be worse off for Jurgen not being there. We got a lot of memes. We got a lot of sound bites. We got a lot of things that at the time annoy us, though the wind is too windy. But that shit's fucking funny.
Felt it was windy like crazy. People love when I talk about the wind, but it was windy and it's not good for football. And so we had really to work hard.
It's funny. I'm going to miss that. What I don't like is like robot Thomas Tuchel coming in and going, this situation. It's like, oh, fuck. Nobody cares, man. As much as it pisses me off, he escaped punishment for running into the center circle to hug Allison.
That one really pisses me off.
He should have been punished for it.
Yeah.
If he got punished for it, it would have allowed us to enjoy it a little bit more.
Right. And let him bitch about being, I was in the moment. Why can't I enjoy it?
But that's, Mourinho running down a touchline, knee sliding in an Armani suit. I fucking love that kind of stuff, man. I really do. It's enjoyable. And, it's going to be sad that he's gone. It's going to be very sad that he's gone. You should YouTube it. His locker room speech after the game was leaked by somebody on YouTube, so you should definitely check that out. It is, as pretty much everything he does, raw and off the cuff.
Probably leaked by him.
I don't think it was. I thought
He's got a camera in those veneers.
It wasn't point of view was the problem. They could have used a big dentist arm that the light's on, I guess. What I really did like the tributes to him. I think that he left a mark on that football club, and that football club have left a mark on him. And I think he leaves the shirt in a better place than when he found it. And as I said about Manchester United multiple times this and last season, when Liverpool Football Club are good because the historic size and nature of that club, when they are good and fighting for things, the league as a whole is better. When Manchester United are good, when Arsenal are good, when Chelsea are good, and they started to at the end of the season, that is better for the entirety of the league. There's more eyes on the league. There's more money coming into the league. There's more everything in the league. I mean, that's why the Premier League got their $2 billion payout from American TV alone. And it's because of these characters. It's because of this drama. It's because of these ridiculous interviews. It's because of all this fun shit. And I, for one, am going to miss him. I hope they replace him with somebody equally as psycho, because if not, we're going to miss a lot of memes and a lot of sound bites, and we won't be adding too many more buttons to that board if they're a fucking robot.
Well, the Feyenoord coach has been running around saying, I'm going to Liverpool, I'm going to Liverpool, I'm going to Liverpool. So
is this old slot?
Yeah.
He's going to slot right in there, is he?
Yep, he'll be.
You think so?
If that's the dude, that's already kind of, he's already geared up to be like that.
Well, the best part about it, too, will be a Dutch derby in Liverpool United. I'm here for that in a heartbeat.
Heard.
I'll do that big time.
All right.
But so we're going to miss you, Jurgen. Enjoy your time off, and I'm sure you'll be employed by Bayern in about, 6 months.
Yeah, I think maybe De Zerbi's been, when De Zerbi fucks it off at Bayern. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up being the German national coach for the next World Cup.
It could, but the other thing with him is he likes that day-to-day so much. I don't know that he could.
Yeah.
His carbon footprint would be worse than Taylor Swift's.
Heard. Very good. Very good. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap it up. We do have one more show next week. We do our predictions, which we wrote down and put into envelopes at the start of the year.
The envelope.
Yeah, and we'll talk about who we thought our 5 worst signings were and who our 5 best signings were. We'll, of course, recap the FA Cup final as well. And as I always like to say, put a bow on the season.
Yep.
And tonight there is no injury time. We are going to do an injury time next week, but that's going to be because during the summertime we're going to be doing Europe for all of our Patreon listeners, the European competition.
Yes.
And we're going to do a preview for that next week to get that ball rolling for that.
Sounds good.
And, of course, next is going to be the EFL show, a very short show because we only got 4 games to talk about.
There's some shenanigans that we should talk about, though,
What's
briefly.
that? Okay,
We'll talk about it on that show.
I like that.
That's what
Sounds
it's
like
there
a winner.
for.
So should somebody want to check out all of our European coverage over the summer, Mr. Cram, how do they go about doing that?
It's very simple, really. It's patreon.com/DU Football Show. Just sign up to that $5 tier. You get all of our extra content.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be the only way you can access those European Championship shows.
Oh, very good.
Because until then, the reason I drank Corona tonight, I'm on the beach, baby.
You're on the beach. Very good.
Come on.
Till next week, everybody.
Guten Nacht, Jürgen.
Are you ready for a second kombucha, my dear? Okay, I'll go grab that for you real fast.
Say it like you're from Harford County. You want that kombucha? Ding.
I must ask, what week is this? Did you just shut the lights, or is that?
He accidentally hit the. Yeah, I think it's the wrong. What's it called? Oh, knees. Hello.
D638. I'm impressed that Houston can still walk.
Milwaukee. That's it. That's the weekend. Yeah. That's the weekend I'm going to move some bottles. I got to do it. Like, I haven't had a chance to tell Justin yet, but I've got another 5 stores, so we'll have 10 stores to buy that barrel.
Okay.
So everybody only have to do a couple, 2-3 cases.
Works for me.
Yeah. Yeah, but almost everybody. I got a couple more people I could still ask too, but between who they have and who I have, I've easily got it down to everybody having just a couple of cases to be responsible for. And we're gonna instead of me saying we're drinking the exact same shit, where I'm gonna say we're gonna do the beer segment.
Now you're back.
Thank you.
Live.
Hi, live. How's everybody doing? All right.
Shore Bailey says he'll miss the memes. He won't miss the whining from Glop.
Mm-hmm.
We have over 100 messages.
See, but I find the whining funny. It doesn't hurt me as bad.
Right.
I find it funny.
Unpopular opinion. If VAR goes away, the bitching will increase.
Big time.
Oh, I don't disagree. It's staying. It's how do they make it take less time? I think as much as we all hate fuck Cutter, the technology they had in the World Cup,
The semi-automated offsides, yeah.
was perfect. And then it's no lines, it's no nothing. The minute that any of those situations happen, the camera will immediately show if it's fucking offsides or not, and it'll immediately go to the ref, and the ref won't even it'll just be like goal line technology, no goal offsides.
Christian was wondering about the video that Benson tagged for you. Was that Tay-Tay in the video?
No, that was Perrymore. They have a bunch of hits. They were from the 2000s. Was
Paramore, like Haley Williams. Paramore?
Yeah, Haley Williams. Yeah, so
I love her.
Yeah, everybody fucking loves her. She's
love her.
fantastic. She's so a little story behind all that. Like, Mel, they do. Well, I know Christian. Ain't It Fun is a song you definitely know that you've heard all over the place that they did, and Misery Inc. And they've had a bunch of fucking hits.
Yeah.
And
they did. They're an excellent band.
They are opening for Taylor Swift in Europe, and the nights that they were in Paris, the one that John got for me is them covering Talking Heads' Burning Down the House. There is a album just for you, Mel.
I love it when you pronounce every syllable.
That is coming out. It might have, I think it was the 17th, so it may already be released. I'll have to take a look. That is a compilation of artists. I know the two biggest names would be Lorde and Perrymore, but they are all doing the entire Stop Making Sense live album.
I've not heard good things about that.
Yeah. The couple songs I heard, I was not impressed with, other than Perrymore fucking kills it. Like, they fucking nail Burning Down the House. She really kind of channels her David Byrne, but while putting her touch
Her
on
spin on it, yeah.
The band doesn't do anything crazy experimental with the music. They go exactly with how the Heads did it. It is so good that I wouldn't be offended, and I would probably go see a show if they wanted to flat out do Stop Making Sense. I'd go watch that.
Right.
I would absolutely go watch that.
I gotcha. I just got tagged in something by Chef Bentley.
Okay, what's up?
Arsenal in the league in 2024. 5-0 Crystal Palace. Us. These are wins. 2-1 against Nottingham Forest, 3-1 against Liverpool, 6-0 against West Ham, 5-0 against Burnley, 4-1 against Newcastle, 6-0 against Sheffield United, 2-1 against Brentford, 0-0 against City. That's a draw. 2-0 against Luton, 3-0 against Brighton, 0-2 against Villa. That is a loss. 2-0 against Wolves, 5-0 against Chelsea, 3-2 against Tottenham, 3-0 against Bournemouth, 1-0 against Manchester United, and 2-1 against Everton. We dropped a total of 5 points since the turn of the year, and it still wasn't enough.
Yeah, insanity.
That's crazy.
I mean, really, when you were talking about.
And that was the other thing I forgot to mention. We had the most win. We had more wins.
God.
We had more wins than the Invincibles did in that season. I saw it already. I saw it already. I'm not worried about it.
Brilliant.
Who's Imam?
International Man of Mystery. Which is why he's called Imam, because that's who he gave it to.
That's funny.
Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
It says the sewing circle, and Graham says surprise anal.
You know, the of the top 4 sides, I mean, of the, you know, the big 6 you did so well against, but 4th place you lost to them twice.
I know.
With Villa. I mean, that's really, you think of the games you like, there's always going to be a slip up against a bad team, because even City is prone to have a slip up against a bad team.
Yeah, they did it against Palace a few
Right.
years in a row, but it's those two. Fulham we slipped up against twice.
Yeah.
West Ham we slipped up against once, but the one time was at home.
Yeah.
Those are the ones where I say, like, 1st through 6th should be able to beat each other in some capacity,
Right.
or draw or whatever. Like, those things should. That's part of the fun and parity of the league, right? But at those times when you're supposed to get your job done, West Ham at home,
Right.
like, there's no excuse for that.
Well, it's also, but it also comes down to, in that one, that loss to Villa was where you lost the league ultimately.
You lost the league.
Well,
That's
I mean,
the game you lost the league.
It was at our own place.
That's what I said. You lost the league at your own stadium.
Yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, in the run-in of the season, yes.
Villa
But
fucked up their plans.
again, if you turn any one of those 3 results around, like draw against Spurs, I'm not even counting that. You know what I mean? Because you would expect that you would potentially drop points against a competitor at the top of the league, right?
Right.
Especially a Derby.
True.
You would, factor in probably one slip-up against a shit team.
Yeah.
Which the draw at home against Fulham 3 weeks into the season is like, when you lose 2 points, by 2 points, any one of these games is different.
Yep.
Any
Agreed.
one of these games is different.
All right, let's do the EFL
Yep.
show.
Hello, this is David Geckel from Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm a Leeds United fan. And we're back, bitches, and we're never fucking leaving. And you're listening to the DU Football Show.
We'll know that on Sunday.
hold your horses.
I will be Sunday. I
this
will
last
be at the
week.
Dark Horse. I mean, at the Dark Horse at the
Barflies.
Barflies to watch
Nice.
the match with them.
Awesome.
And Scotty for West Ham is going to be there as well.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to be rooting them on, that's for sure, because we don't want to see Southampton. Fuck Southampton. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Grammy.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to DU Does EFL, a completely biased brief recap of the English Football League as told by 2 common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston. Already on the beach is my co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham.
How am I doing? Great.
Yeah,
Didn't hear you say how you doing.
yeah. You're on the beach. I already know how you fucking doing.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing very well.
Yeah.
Corona.
You trying to take the spot of the person on the 1s and 2s and push my fucking buttons. Who would be Producer Mel? Producer Mel, how are you doing, darling?
I'm on island time.
Haha, very good. Well, I mean, you've been
Are we
on
done
island.
yet?
You've been on island time since fucking the winter with the show you're doing. So we're recording the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And
Not
of course,
helping.
streaming live every single Monday night Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Of course, it's at DU Football Show on all the social media and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Very good. And this can be a little bit of a curveball because Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we've had to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. No injury time, so beer reviews are going on right here.
Oh, shit.
Mr. Graham, as you had said, you are drinking Coronas.
Yes, because the season is over and I'm now on the beach. I've found my beach, and it's right here.
Well, then I'm going to open with mine because I enjoyed. My first one was from Flying Embers, a hard kombucha, ginger yuzu mule made with real fruit juice. Blah, 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 gluten-free. It's real juice, real ingredients, real delicious. And they do 1% to first responders.
Cheers to the brewer.
I know. I give you guys so many notes. Don't ever burp into the mic. What do? 7% alcohol by volume. Might explain quite a bit.
You give us notes?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I've ever seen them. Yeah.
I yell them at Sam, and he's like, I'll tell Graham, don't worry.
And
Do you have the right email?
She yells them at me. I don't tell them to you because you are a sensitive little bird, and you get all fucking up in your feelings.
The thing
You'll start
is
to think about it all the time.
At this stage, I'm a professional broadcaster. Okay, if I'm making a game time decision, it's probably the right call. Is what I'm saying.
The amount of breath marks I have to remove from the show suggests otherwise.
It's not breath marks. It's me exhaling my vape. I'm required to talk more than you. You can back up and do your weed.
That kombucha is quite good. Lemon, tart, you know.
It hits all the notes. I was afraid it was going to come too sweet, trying to hit the rum on the mule.
Right.
And I'm glad they kind of they avoided it. They didn't need to lean into that flavor and instead lean into the juice flavors around it.
Yeah, big citrus, ginger that's not overbearing, but there.
I get a bit of that sweet yuzu as well.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
A little bit of a bite from the ginger. It was
It's actually quite good.
Amazingly accurate. 7% deadly.
So I was all out of Ice House, and I just went up to the corner store to get a bag of ice to make sure everything was cold in the cooler. And I went, fuck it. You know what? Haven't had it in a while. We reviewed it on the show before, but the old Canadian Budweiser Moosehead Lager.
Come on. That's not it. Moosehead's not pink.
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
Moosehead. I haven't had Moosehead in a long time.
Canadian beer, damn good beer.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I could fuck with that.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, Moosehead's good.
Yeah, I fucks with that.
It's up there. Not as good of a shit beer as Tan Can, but it's close.
Yeah, but it
It's up
checks the
there.
boxes.
I'd say it's probably top 5 shit beers.
Yeah. It
I like
checks
it.
the boxes. And I was gonna buy, because we all know I have my propensity for Mexican cervezas, but with no fruit, right? And I was like, fuck it, I'll buy the Budweiser American version, right? Buy some Land Sharks. Sixer of Land Shark was $11.99. Sixer of Moosehead was $6.99. I bought me some Moosehead.
Hey, speaking of Land Shark,
Somebody's not doing the case deal.
a bartender that we're friends with got me the information of a salesperson that does the Shark of the Land, because I'm looking for some POS for Escape to Margaritaville.
Right.
Never got back to me.
Boo.
I will ask. I go to Mount Airy tomorrow. I will ask if I can find anything for you.
I would love some Land Shark shit. Thank you.
Do you know what distributor has it?
And
Budweiser. Whoever's saying
Budweiser.
Anheuser-Busch.
So I think that's Bond. I will reach out to.
Might be whose number I have.
But it might be a local sales rep as opposed to, like, you know, maybe a regional manager, an area manager, or something like that.
Yeah, but a lot of my colleagues came from the beer world, so I still have a lot of connections in the beer world now. A lot more connections than I did.
Right.
So I might be able to reach out to somebody and see if I can't get a couple of things for you.
Cool.
Will they be getting them back or probably not?
If they want them back, yes. If not, then no.
Mel, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick reference that Graham will not get.
In fact,
Land Shark.
no one's home.
Land Shark.
I know what you're doing. No one's here.
Land Shark.
I know what that is. No one's home. Go away.
Land shark.
No, you fucked it up.
Oh, okay.
Is this a sex thing?
No, it's an SNL bit.
You should have gone at some point. Candy Graham.
That's right, Candy Graham. Show was the door. Land shark eats her.
I felt like I was in the knock knock loop with Abigail.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also need tequila and rum bottles that are empty for set pieces. Oh, on the land shark front. If they don't want them back, what I will do is have the cast sign them and auction them off for charity.
Okay.
Very good. What's your second kombucha, Mrs. Houston?
8% alcohol. So this one is called Flying Embers. Hard kombucha, pineapple sunset, a pomegranate with hints of tropical fruits. This has no artificial sweeteners, real botanicals, live cultures, alive and wild. It is.
I mean, that
Taking out-
smells like pineapple juice out of the can.
Fermented by crafted and brewed by Fermented Sciences and
Here, smell
Ventura.
out of the cup, Mel. It is just pineapple juice. Like, it smells like pineapple juice. Okay, that's fine. So, yeah, smell out of the cup. I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit.
this
Dr.
tastes
Kombucha.
how I expected the Depeche to taste.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good.
This tastes like a version of moose juice.
Yeah, that's quite good.
This tastes like happiness.
I'm not a kombucha guy, and that's quite fucking good.
I like it.
I'm
by the way,
very happy.
Keep an eye out for when that Tapache that is in your division, because you sell the Jafard stuff too, right? Or is
That got moved over
okay?
to Diamondback, I think.
All right. Well, one of your Diamondback friends, find out where there's some place that they've
I'll
sold
have
it, so
stuff,
I can.
don't worry.
Yeah, I wanna get a sixer of that.
I'll get things.
And drink legally responsibly.
Always.
Very good.
Championship Corner!
I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh no!
So we had fuck all in the first leg, and then just dominant performances in the second leg.
Yeah, no shit.
I got the chance to go to Barflies, watch the Leeds match with all the Leeds faithful. Good, like, solid 15 there.
Mm-hmm.
One Ipswich supporter, just in solidarity.
Nice.
Gentleman's name is Chris, and Chris has already volunteered to help us out for the summer.
Oh, fuck yeah. I was hoping you did that.
Yeah, so
That was going to be my next question.
so it'll be great. It'll be, we've got a Ipswich person. Of course, we're going to reach out to Mark, because Mark's been going, hey, I want to do another show with you guys. So he'll get a whole fucking hour for Leicester.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Couldn't think of which Mark you were talking about
Yeah.
for a second. 'Cause
Kenny.
we got three on our roster.
Kenny will help us with Southampton if it's Southampton, and I'm thinking Lars and Gek. I want, or even bring Lars's brother too. Just do the whole fucking, like, a contingent of fucking Leeds idiots.
I don't know if we can handle the sexual energy in the room if that's the case.
And I don't think Lars's brother can speak.
He talks when he wants. Talks when he wants to.
This
He can
is
just
not
be
the
here-
place for dirty
just be
laundry.
here-
That's
just-
injury time, Mel.
Just be here for moral support. But I mean, Leeds were up 3-0 before the end of the first half, and they pulled a Fulham on Brentford. Remember when Fulham in the promotion game got that little dink free kick from Carney that caught everybody off guard?
Uh-huh.
There was
From Kearney, yeah.
the second goal. People kind of ran up, the wall split a little bit, and their one Leeds player just kind of did like a little dink right between the wall, just kind of doop, 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 couple bounces right. Like one of those goals where everybody goes, why the fuck did we just give that up?
Yeah.
It was
100%.
fantastic.
I mean, both really of these second legs were surprise anal, weren't they?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
The first legs were all missionary. This was somebody taking charge and going,
Just tip, see how it feels.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was exactly what the fuck it was. What, is there a bunch of bugs floating around out there, Mr. Graham, that you're
Yeah.
looking out my window for?
Yeah, and I'm making sure they ain't coming in.
Okay, oh, that's right. You get
When
freaked
you
out by the big
When
bugs.
you came in, one joined us.
Well, but, Leeds goes on to win 4-0. They're going to be playing in Wembley next Sunday. really, even though the scoreline would say different, it was 3-1, Southampton over West Brom. It took them longer to do, but ultimately Southampton was never in. It was never in doubt that Southampton was going to win this match.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean, as you said, Southampton were in complete control, really. I think, wasn't it the West Brom goal was just in consolation?
93rd.
Yeah,
it was the 93rd. And it was like they scored in the first half, then they scored one around the 78th, and then they scored one around the 85th. It was like, so it took them a while to put it to bed, but it was never really in doubt that they weren't going to not win it.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
West Brom was pushing, but never really with any true impetus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it just kind of the way it went.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Kenny, I'm rooting for fucking Leeds because also I want there to be a South Coast derby in the championship next year.
Yeah, same to an extent. Yeah, I really do.
I like to see Leeds back up. Leeds has got this team is full of kids, so I think they'll have struggles in the Prem next year. But the handful of games I've watched, I've been now to Barflies for I want to say 4 matches. They're fun to watch, man. This Leeds team is very fun to watch.
Yeah, what I will worry about and warn Leeds about is what we saw in the stands of this this second leg here. So, Southampton fans have treated us to, a few different memorable things in the stands, most of which left bad tastes in our mouth.
The airplane.
The airplane especially. But here, I can't remember the first guy was doing, but it was strange. Then there was somebody that had like way too much food and was like waving it around when something happened. And then there was the other man. And this is the one that I want to focus on because it was quite scary, actually. And I'm not sure if it was his or somebody else's. But as one of the Southampton goals went, he was just waving around his prosthetic leg.
Jesus Christ.
And if that's what you do in celebration, be fucking careful, Leeds.
I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, Rocket Raccoon. And I need his leg. Why do you need his leg? You'd be funny.
Yeah.
I need his leg.
So I don't know if it was
Imagine
that
him
guy's.
hopping around.
Yeah, he was in the middle of the stand. So everybody else was around him. So I don't know if it was his or if it was somebody's near him that didn't look like there was a hole in the line of people. Because I assume when you take your prosthetic leg off, you probably are going to have to sit down.
On to League One, we see the hot team advance as Oxford get promotion, and it is their first time this century. The last time they were up in the second flight was 98-99.
Nice.
This was 2-0. It was 2-0 at the half, and Oxford rolled. I watched the whole match. Bolton had nothing,
which is
against
weird
Oxford.
because Bolton have been playing very, very well. They've been their manager is one of the kind of disciples of Pep from afar.
Bolton
kind of guys.
5-0 in their building this season.
100%.
Like they just didn't have an answer.
But you're right. I mean, nerds are kind of hot sometimes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
They were the hot team. What? What? Why do you always shake your head?
So I do have to
good.
say,
That's good broadcasting.
Will be exciting to see Oxford in the championship.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I mean, I don't watch a ton of the championship, just with all the kids and stuff. It's kind of difficult to keep up with so much shit. But
a lot of it for me is highlights. Unless I'm going to a match for a particular team, it tends to be a lot of highlights for me. It's Oxford.
But I will definitely catch a couple of their matches if they go up.
I have a feeling it's going to be a lot like Wickham. It's like Wickham was so excited to get up, and it was such a big deal that they got up, and then they got fucking worked.
Yeah, hey, come on.
Yeah.
Dicks out.
Yeah.
For Wycombe,
baby. And then the final spot in League Two goes to Crawley Town as they exercise the terrible press that was John Weems. Now they beat Crewe Alexandra 2-0.
John Weems was a racist manager, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. I couldn't remember his last name.
Yep.
That's good. Sorry for Crewe Alexandria because I would have liked them to go up, I think.
Well, especially the way that they beat Doncaster, it was like...
And I haven't seen them up in ages as well. I think they were a League One team at one point in the not-so-distant past, but it in terms of my football watching life, I don't remember them in League One at all. But yeah, I mean, good for Crawley Town. I'm glad, obviously, they got rid of the racist very shortly after that happened, obviously. But it's good for them to exercise those demons and kind of do something positive for their city.
I'm sure he'll somehow try to take credit for it.
No, 100%.
Yeah. Because remember, he came out a year or two ago and was like, "Yeah, no, I wasn't in the wrong for what I did. They overblew it."
Well, that's the thing. In this area, in this era of our current world, it is much more, I guess, poignant to as a sticking point, right? To say to never back down, double down.
Right.
That's the first thing, of course, because nobody can ever be wrong. But the other thing is divisivity breeds popularity in a lot of cases. And to be as divisive as possible, and especially to back down as if you were trying to defend some unwavering principle in your life, is what people want to see. It's what the masses like. So I'm sure he'll be some sort of Tory poster child, and everything will be fine.
One of the bits that Eddie Murphy did in his stand-up special Raw was talking about, getting caught cheating and getting divorced, and they take half your shit and all that kind of stuff, right? And he's like, I had one of my boys who one time, like, she caught him in the bed fucking. He goes out of the room. She's like, "What are you?" He was like, "That wasn't me. That wasn't me." No, I saw you doing it. Wasn't me, baby. Wasn't me. But then, okay, well, no, maybe it was you. Just another person took you over. Your brain was someplace else. Wasn't me, baby. That is what I think of whenever I hear. They're just like, no, I didn't.
Next time we get in a fight, I might try that. JK.
Wasn't me. No.
And that's
Big in the corner.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
I was gonna say, did that stand up inspire the song?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
See what Shaggy has to say.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into one last thing. The FA Cup final. They
one word.
They have to win it, right? Like, this is literally a back against the wall. If you there has never been Europe without United, or at least in the modern day era, right? In the modern day Premier League era,
this is already the worst league finish in the 30 years of the Premier League. Yes,
never been Europe without Manchester United in it.
League.
They've been in at least some form of competition forever. Like, they have every reason to throw everything at City. City has no real reason to win this other than to just add another trophy that doesn't really matter in the scheme of things. They pulled off the 4. Like, that's where the effort was.
The treble.
Right. Well, they got the treble, but they pulled off the 4 in a row here, coming back and getting it from you guys. Like, they've done the work. This game really should mean fuck all. Why is there no chance in hell for fucking United to win? Because they're not. City's going to win. City's going to win.
Because of their basket case. I've got one word for you. Mollywhopping.
Yeah.
This is going to be 3-4-0 and 70% possession. It's going to be...
It's
going to be bad.
Yeah. And it's funny because then they're not going to be in Europe, which will be... it will be equal parts horrible and fantastic.
Yeah.
It is horrible because, as you said, football needs United to be good. And good is at least if you're if you're in Europe, even if it's the fucking McRib Cup, you know what? You're a good fucking team.
Which they've been in recently, remember? They dropped down from the Champions League, and Jose Mourinho won them the Europa League.
Well, this would be, either it would be Europa League or nothing. But they've even been in the Conference League before, too. They've been in the McRib. It just... It's inexplicable.
I don't see
inexplicable.
I cannot, in my mind's eye, make an argument for anything other than a City win here.
I am glad to see that finally you're starting to hear some punditry go, yeah, Ten Hag sucks. He's bad, but It's the players.
Yeah, but
They're
it's great.
finally starting to point the finger at players who don't give a shit about the badge, who don't fight for it.
I heard a British broadcaster the other day describe Ten Hag's last, 7 interviews, maybe 8 interviews, 7-8 weeks of the season. That is basically just lying his way through a job interview.
Yeah.
Because he keeps saying that we're in a better place than we were last season. Well, that's factually incorrect.
No.
United have never finished as low as 8th, and you just finished as low as 8th. United have never finished with a negative goal differential. You just finished with a negative goal differential.
They were
like in the Premier League we're talking about. 'Cause
they were in
obviously
the Champions League.
United's
They were in the
been
Champions
relegated.
League last year. How is this a better year?
Right, exactly. It's not a better year. It sucks, and he's partially to blame. But the thing is, and it sucks. It's the age-old adage. It's easier to change one manager than it is to change 30 players.
Yeah.
And there's a few players out of contract that they're going to mutually, either cancel their contracts or they'll be leaving on free transfers. But there's a lot of players that are tied down for another 2-3 years that they're going to have to try to find a buyer for.
Yeah.
And their season has been so shambolic. I don't know if anybody that Rashford, for instance, would feel comfortable going to would be in for him.
No. Not especially because Rashford's still going to expect to be making his wages.
Exactly right. So where does he go? So might be stuck.
Yeah.
Unless he goes abroad.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure that he's one that wants to, especially with the social work that he's taken up. So it's one of those things, like somebody, like Roma. We've seen a few people resurrect their careers at, for instance. They have a little bit of money. Mm-hmm. They're decent enough. They're challenging for probably the cups more than they are the league.
Smalling is the biggest one that comes to mind there. That
Tammy Abraham.
Yeah,
now obviously he had that stretch at Chelsea where he was scoring a lot of goals and stuff. But then Lukaku comes back and he gets fucked off and he goes, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out.
Yeah.
And goes and signs for Jose Mourinho again.
Yep.
And does work out there, does business, But there's a fair few of them that are like that. So does a move similar to that, not necessarily that Roma's going to be in for him,
right?
But does a move similar to that, or look at Jadon Sancho at Dortmund? How many times he kind of came up through there after leaving City, came back to England. Things went awry, obviously, at Manchester United with Ten Hag. Goes back to Dortmund. Manchester United are where they are. He's playing in a Champions League final in a couple of weeks.
I have a feeling he will be, if Ten Hag is gone, he will be
back into the fold, I reckon, as well.
Absolutely back
but
into the fold.
There's a fair few, players that have gone overseas now, where traditionally we think the English don't travel well,
right?
In terms of players. So.
And then, frankly, you have something like, United, the money that they'll spend over the summer, because they'll have the money. They can the jersey sales alone will cover the cost of a player, but they'll probably end up going in for 70 to 80 for fucking Branthwaite from us,
right?
And the entire world will be put on that young man's shoulders, and not justifiably. I mean, he had a great season for us. It helps when you have a just proven pro like James Tarkowski right next to him. Makes a big fucking difference.
If they hold on to Harry Maguire, he'll have that, technically.
Yeah.
Will he?
Yeah, will he? Right?
I mean, it's half facetious. It's hard to say where they go from here, really. I know the group has already kind of come out and said the group that Jim Ratcliffe, Elios or whatever their name is, that pretty much everybody's up for sale and only 3 players are safe.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the problem with that is you have to find buyers for those people. Because if you don't, you're stuck with them. And everybody at United is on big wages, and those big wages could be a hindrance to FFP stuff.
Right.
Because if you have to sign more players without European football, you're going to have to sign them to massive, like Chelsea did, to massive fucking contracts to make sure that they want to come to you.
Yep.
And then you'll have a bunch of overpaid babies on the books not playing, and probably a bunch of overpaid babies on the pitch. More than likely still not performing, because as long as Erik ten Hag's still there, I don't see him really getting a tune out of anyone.
Tend to agree. He's not going to be there.
I mean, just think about some of the decisions he made, right? Like, how bad was Casemiro 2 weeks ago?
Put him right back out.
Played him again. Put somebody in the youth team out.
Yeah, play a kid. Just play a kid.
I mean, United have such a proud tradition of playing youth team players and bringing people through and everything else. At least it's something the fans can get behind.
Mm-hmm.
Give the kid some experience before next season or whatever.
And if the kid makes a mistake, the kid makes a mistake. They're not going to hold it against
And they're not going
him.
to hold it against him. Exactly right. But if you throw fucking, 3 or 4 time European Cup winning Casemiro out there, World Cup semifinalist Casemiro out there, or not semifinalist, but quarterfinalist. Somebody with so many loads and loads and loads of experience. What are you gonna? How can you justify that when, or protect him when people go in for him?
Yeah, true.
It just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. And those are very simple man management decisions that he has gotten completely wrong, and the optics of it are not great.
Agreed.
So,
no. Yeah, City wins. There's no doubt about it.
Come on.
Now,
I see another Phil Foden special, be honest with you.
we are going to wrap it up, boys and girls. This is the final show of the season for the EFL show. We are going to talk about the newly promoted team next week on the main show because
They're part of the Premier League now.
part of the Premier League, and that's what we always do.
That's it.
Parting words. This was our first time doing this. I think we can always tweak it and make it better, but I thought this was pretty fun to kind of, one eye open, looking at the rest of the looking at the rest of the football league.
I think so too. I have to try to find a bit of a work-life balance with some of the extra stuff that we do.
Yeah. Fair enough.
It's hard. There's a lot of stuff that I'm going on basic general knowledge of football that I have because I simply don't have the fucking time to look at everything.
Yeah, well, but buddy, I was trying to just carry the weight for you there
It's
and
fine.
not let anybody know.
It's not they know. They listen.
Yeah.
It's fine. I have no problem owning that. I think I'm still pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, you are still
To
fucking
be honest
funny.
with you.
So I say we continue to do it next year. You want to keep doing it, Mr. Graham?
It's fine with me.
Yeah, I feel like there's enough listeners that have had their teams that may go up or down, and I think we want to keep showing them a little bit of love. And also, it'll be fun because, like, God forbid, Sunderland or Pompey or Bolton make it back up to the Premier League again. We can be like, yeah, we were talking about them in League One.
Yeah.
So it'd be pretty great.
Yeah, I don't mind it. And it's always a good idea to keep an eye on the football league. I mean, England is unique in the sense that all 4 professional leagues are so followed and so cared about. I mean, if you go to France D3, it ain't happening. If you go to Spain D3, there's 15 people in the stands. It's worse than a high school game. You know what I'm saying?
I love how you're pretending that this isn't going to slowly transition into a Wrexham show and you aren't going to try to capitalize on their fan base, and you've just slowly been moving that way.
It's talking about everybody because, I mean, I am interested in Wrexham, but honestly, I'm far more
That's where the money's at,
I'm
though.
far more interested in talking about Pompey and Bolton
To
and
be honest, we
hockey
should
and
scrap everything we do and just do a Wrexham pod.
yeah, pretty much.
We want to actually make this profitable.
Yeah, it's one way to look at it.
It's
That's
none
for
of-
damn sure.
Lure
none of-
them in with Wrexham and then talk
None of-
about everything else.
None of the sewing circles have ever turned back a friend for that $5
Although-
charge.
Although, Mr. Graham, I will just say, quick little shot is, some of these teams in League One, League Two maybe pull about 6,000 fans a match. We pulled that for a friendly in Annapolis on a Wednesday.
Goddamn right. Yep.
We're gonna, in all
Let's do a
likelihood,
podcast about that.
yeah, that would be the Naptown Blues
Yeah,
Fancast.
we do
which I
do
was
a
about to,
podcast about
I was about to get to that.
Well, as a house.
Yeah,
I'm not involved.
it's
Besides owning a third of it.
It's looking
Your
very
house
likely.
is in charge.
It's looking very, very likely that the home opener in 2 Saturdays from now will end up having 10,000 in attendance for a
Nice.
NPSL summer, essentially a college summer league.
It's almost embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, I was concerned. I mean, we were just at the Reds match, the Alexandria Reds match, and there was maybe 100 people, and I'd say 60 of them were us. So, it's a pretty impressive. So that's the other thing too. If anybody wants to hear about legitimately a local summer college team, it's where all the colleges send their kids to play over the summer. They send them to the NPSL, and we have the Annapolis Blues. So it's the Naptown Blues fan cast, and it's me and Young Hot Freshness every week.
There are also semi-pro clubs that do send their players on loan sometimes as well to NPSL clubs.
Yep.
So, which is kind of interesting. So you can kind of see some of the next generation anyway that are playing in the lower leagues of American football.
So we were at Dark Horse, and we were talking to, was it Scott?
Yeah, Scotty McMullen.
Scotty McMullen was telling us about a buddy of his that about your age, about your level, that auditioned for the Blues, thinking it was just,
Call that a tryout where we're from, or a trial. But okay.
thinking it was what, like a beer league or an advanced beer league or something. He had no idea.
Thought he was going to go play for Christos.
I have to call my brother then and ask him about it. I mean, I at least played in college. We talk about there's my level. My level currently, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's what
Well,
I
that's
meant.
what he's
Not my
talking about.
day.
That's what I meant.
All right, good.
That's what I meant. Your age, your level.
And he went out to that and was like, "Oh no!"
I don't like how you made a downward motion with your hand there, like I'd fallen off a cliff
I
since
mean, you have.
back in the day.
All right, everybody,
Rude.
let's call it a night. We've all got shit to do. I got to drive to Richmond tomorrow. So till next season, everybody.
Good night and good luck.
Okay. You